And welcome to tonight's installment of the Extermatech Pest Control Game of the Week on the Montgomery Sports Network. The Montgomery Sports Network is your destination in the River region of Alabama for the best high school sports coverage, from live broadcasts to full games to on-demand replays to game highlights. It's all right here on the Montgomery Sports Network. Tonight we are in Montgomery at the Crampton Bowl for a Class 6A Region 2 matchup between the Dothan Tigers, who have made the 2-hour trip up Highway 231 to take on the homestanding Park Crossing Thunderbirds. My name is Kane Young. I'll be your broadcaster tonight, play-by-play. I'm here with Daryl Dapperitz. Daryl, good to see you again.
Good to be here. Quite a different vantage point than we had last week, and thankfully we were not in for any weather or lightning delays, knock on wood, so we should get this thing started on time.
So beautiful night here at Crampton Bowl. Temperature hovering around 90 all day. Not much breeze at all here this evening for Thursday night football here at the Crampton Bowl. You're watching the Hank Williams Museum pregame show here on the Montgomery Sports Network, where tonight we're going to have a 6A Region 2 matchup, Daryl, between these two teams that, both have new coaches coming in here, so that's a issue somewhat as they go into region play. Both teams trying to get off on the right foot here to start their region play and make a push towards the playoffs during the 2018 season.
Well, it's a completely different type of tone when you get into region play. I mean, you can have a rivalry game between two high school opponents in the same classification in different regions. But, I compare this to like when you get into conference play in college football. Now you're playing a regional opponent. Both teams, as you mentioned, breaking in new coaches. This is Angela Wheeler's first year for Park Crossing. Wayne White, who played at Dothan, this is his first year at Dothan. So the biggest thing that you want to do, you want to accomplish, Kane, in this matchup is you got to get a leg up. You are competing with the team across the field from you for a playoff position in that particular classification, in that particular region, and so that's why this game takes on more significance. So
Class 6A Region 2, the teams are all the same as last year, the last 2 years actually here in this region, but the only difference is that Stanhope Elmore has moved out of Region 2. They moved up towards the north and the east with Opelika and Benjamin Russell and Wetumpka, and Eufaula has moved in to join Park Crossing, Dothan, Northview, Russell County, Carver, Montgomery, and Sidney Lanier here in this region. So last year, Park Crossing actually won their third consecutive region championship under the previous coach, Smitty Grider, who ended up leaving after the offseason. And they have been a program that's won several playoff games the last few years, actually made a run into the third round about 2 years ago. But they are breaking in a lot of new talent this year and so forth.
Well, I think if you asked any of the previous coaching staff that was here the last 3 years or anybody associated with the Park Crossing program, they'd be the first to tell you they felt like they had unfinished business. They underachieved. They felt like with the quarterback that they've had, the quarterback play, Cam Bright, the linebacker, the University of Pittsburgh, and Rowley, they had some guys that could really play, and they felt like that they could get deeper in the playoffs. They got bit a lot by the injury bug in their 3-year playoff run, and so that's a key tonight for the rest of the season is for Park Crossing to stay healthy and let that talent stay on the field.
And one issue for Park Crossing here, the home team, as we'll talk about them a little bit more, their offense. Last year they averaged 39 points a game, very explosive, had a lot of weapons. The quarterback, as you mentioned, Cam Taylor, ended up going to Nebraska. They had a stud running back in Josiah McDaniels, who has gone on to junior college, and an offensive lineman, Tank Jenkins, paved the way for them, and they could beat you in the air or on the ground. So they were very effective, but so far this year they have struggled to put points on the board with the offense.
Yeah, and I can't recall his name, but the quarterback the year before Cam Robinson went to Louisville, I believe.
Malik Cunningham.
Yeah, Malik Cunningham. So, they've had a ton of offensive talent. Defensively, they had athletes. What happened towards the end of the year, a lot of times they had to go both ways. Their strong safety that was a transfer from Edgewood that ended up playing at signing with Troy, he had to go both ways. So they had some guys that had to go both ways, and I think that weakened that defense a little bit. They were a little bit tired when it came to the end of the year. But you're right, explosive offense. And, I mean, they run that spread, that hurry up, and they were really, really putting points on the boards. They outscored and outgunned people. But eventually, Kane, when you get into the playoffs and you get to the upper echelon of the playoffs, you've got to be able to stop somebody defensively, and that's where they had issues.
Yeah, they had plenty of offense. They won a game here in the second round on the last-second field goal with their kicker Jake Lane 2 years ago, then went up to Opelika and lost in round 3. And last year they won their first-round game here at home, and I think they went on the road to Spanish Fort and lost in the second round. But they're under Coach Angela Wheeler, who's no stranger to Montgomery football. He was the head coach at Sidney Lanier from 2010 to 2012. Had a 5-25 record with the Poets. inherited a program that he was trying to turn around. And then he's back here at Park Crossing this year, 1-1 so far. Their victory was last week over Jeff Davis, 24-10, and the loss was in the opener to Robert E. Lee. Both those teams 7A, so they're dropping down to their normal classification here as they go into week 3.
Yeah, that's an impressive win when you get a win over a 7A program. Obviously, not the situation that with Robert E. Lee to open the year. I think if you asked their coaching staff, they would consider that loss a disappointment. They feel like they should be coming into this game 2-0. But you're right. I mean, Coach Angelo Wheeler took over Lanier program that was in a lot different shape than this program is as far as talent that he inherited.
And Park Crossing, they're led by quarterback Trevor Robinson. He's replacing the aforementioned Cam Taylor. Robinson so far this year, 12 for 18, 203 yards, 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. 56-yard touchdown run against Jeff Davis. Also had a 13-yard touchdown run against Robert E. Lee, so he's a dual-threat quarterback. But the offense has struggled to get on the board. They put 15 on the board against Robert E. Lee, 24 against Jeff Davis, but 2 of the 3 scores were one was on a punt return and the other was on a pick 6.
Yeah, so, I mean, offensively, the touchdowns just aren't there like they've been the last couple of years. And, you look at the passing statistics for Trevor Robinson, and that is so uncharacteristic of a Park Crossing football. They used to put it up 25, 30 times a game with Cam Taylor and Malik Cunningham. Just a different coaching philosophy, a different coaching style with Angelo Wheeler than Smitty Grider, and he's going to run the football more. He doesn't have his quarterbacks, even though they're dual threat, put it up in the air as much. And
see if they can get Tremaine Osborne going tonight, the wide receiver. Last year he was one of their big threats, scored 4 touchdowns, had over 200-some yards receiving last year. He's one of their better returning players for Park Crossing. On the other sideline will be the Dothan Tigers, making their way up 2 hours to the south of us on Highway 231. They are led by head coach Wayne White. As Darryl mentioned earlier, Darryl, a Dothan High School graduate. He previously coached at Northview on the other side of town, was 7-23 at Northview over 3 seasons, and so far they're 1-1. The loss was to 7A Enterprise, 44-21, and their victory last week was over Rehoboth, 47-7.
Interesting with Rehoboth, right down the street from Dothan, very close, within 15 minutes of each other. Of course, Rehoboth is a 5A school. Dothan's a 6A school, but in all their history of 178 years of football history between the two programs, it's the first time they met, and it was most likely the school size differential, and really Dothan rolled. I mean, they got out in front early. We talk about the big 3 for Dothan, and that's Jaden Fulmer, the receiver that had 2 touchdown receptions. Their quarterback Cameron Dawsey is a threat, another dual threat, and then they have a really good running back in Ty Webb. So Park Crossing, who's a little bit challenged defensively, is going to have their hands full containing the big 3. But it's amazing to me that, looking at the stats, looking at the game story from last week, you would have thought that those 2 schools would have hooked up before, but, man, they got out to a quick start and really put Rehoboth away early.
Yeah, 47-7. Week 1, they played Enterprise, a game that was very close at halftime. Enterprise is 7A school, like Robert E. Lee and Jeff Davis. Enterprise only led 17-14, but Enterprise outscored Dothan 17-0 in the third quarter, and that's going to be an issue tonight for Dothan. They have to find a way to stay in the game and fight through adversity, unlike they did in week 1.
Yeah, you don't. When you jump out in front like that and you get a big lead, and all you got to do is hold on and sustain a 47-7 victory. I mean, that's one thing. Can Dothan, if they're in a tight ball game in the fourth quarter, on the road against Park Crossing, can Dothan come out, go through adversity, and end up, pushing through to get a win? It's a lot different when you're up ahead early and you can just put it in cruise control.
The running back, Ty Webb, had 168 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns against Enterprise. Last week against Rehoboth, he had touchdown runs of 22 and 25 yards. Against Enterprise, he had a 76-yard run. So he has the ability to break one off. He wears number 1. And then a quarterback, we're not really sure who we're going to see, whether it's Cameron Dawsey, the sophomore, or potentially the senior Cameron Doss.
Doss started the game last week against Rehoboth, and on the very first drive took him right down the field, threw a touchdown pass. But then it's interesting, the game notes indicate that he didn't get back in the game, or at least he didn't have another score, because the rest of the night, Cameron Dawsey, number 4, led them on touchdown drives to Jaden Fulmer a couple times through the air. And so, maybe they employ a 2-quarterback system. We saw both of them warming up, Kane, both of them throwing, maybe different skill sets. But, from looking at the stats and watching them warm up, they both look like they're dual threats. but it'll remain to be seen. Maybe one's a better pocket passer. Maybe one runs the option or runs the spread a little better.
And once again, just remind you, we are on the Montgomery Sports Network. We're at mymgmsports.com. You can watch us from there. You can go on YouTube and watch us from there. Like us on Facebook. You can go to our page. We have highlights there and so forth. You can follow us on Twitter at mymgmsports on Twitter. We post highlights there, videos and so forth, and so on. A lot of good information there. Tonight we're here at the Crampton Bowl. Last 2 weeks we were up in Clanton covering Chilton County and Stanhope-Belmore and Chilton County and Sylacauga. Tomorrow night we'll move out towards East Montgomery as Alabama Christian will visit Trinity. And we have games all year long. This is our first of our Thursday, Friday doubleheaders that we have during the season. We actually have a Friday, Saturday later on and so forth as we go down the season. But there's a whole schedule there you can click on. Watch games. We'll be up in Wetumpka later on and during the season also. So talk a little bit more about 6A Region 2. I look at this region, unlike last year where Park Crossing was a prohibitive favorite and Sidney Lanier with their senior-laden team and Foster, a quarterback, they were the class of the region. This one seems like it's a little bit more up for grabs than it's been the past few seasons.
Yeah, it's wide open. I mean, I don't think you really have a prohibitive favorite coming into this season in 6A Region 2. I think that there's 2 or 3 teams that feel like they can compete. Interesting that they moved Stanhope-Elmore, who's 20 minutes up the road from here, to a region and moved in Eufaula, who's an hour and a half away. Sometimes those are head scratchers, but, you know, it does make for a different type game. Now you get another opponent that maybe you're not used to playing at a different field, which makes it a little bit different for the kids and exciting. But I think it's a wide open region this year, and there's 2 or 3 teams that could win it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we have new coaches obviously tonight. Dothan and Park Crossing. Carver also has a new coach. Last year, this region put 4 teams in the playoffs, obviously, like everybody else does, but Park Crossing was the 1 seed. They won it. They won a winner-take-all game here late in the season against Sidney Lanier, one of the biggest games between 2 Montgomery public schools that late in the year. They end up pulling that game out and get the 1 seed. Lanier had the 2 seed. And they actually won their first playoff game here in several years, since the early 2000s, or since the LC Cole era, I should say. And then the 3 seed was Carver, and Carver went on the road and won their first playoff game against McAdory, came back down here and lost to Wetumpka, a Wetumpka team that went all the way to the 6A finals last year. And then the 4 seed was that Stanhope-Elmore team we were mentioned that's now kind of been booted out. So there's at least 1 spot potentially up for grabs, maybe 2, in this region for some teams that traditionally are not in the playoffs.
That makes it exciting, and that definitely adds some flavor to this region where you've got a couple of schools that may be able to slide in that haven't been in the playoffs for a while. I think that does. People get tired of seeing the same teams in year after year after year. So if shuffling the schools and reclassification of the classifications does anything to add some new blood and maybe some new playoff teams, I'm all for that. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, and Wetumpka and Stanhope right up the road, as you mentioned before, they're up there with Calera out of Birmingham and Benjamin Russell out of Alexander City. Opelika is also in that region, so a little bit different favor there, and so forth. Down here we see Dothan and Northview, Eufaula, Russell County. Russell County traditionally not very good at football, but they had a lot of close games last year. Actually, only lost to Stanhope by 7 points. Carver, Lanier, and Park Crossing. So it'll be an interesting year in Class 6A Region 2, and we'll have several other games this year with Park Crossing, Lanier, Carver here on the Montgomery Sports Network. So we remind you that you are watching the Hank Williams Museum pregame show here on the Montgomery Sports Network. As always, we would like to thank our sponsors. Without them, these broadcasts would not be possible. So first, we'd like to thank our title sponsor, Extermitech Pest Control, locally owned and operated. Extermitech Pest Control is a small, passionate, and powerful team voted best in Montgomery. If you have bugs bugging you, call Extermitech. They have been bugging the competition for over 15 years. Call 334-209-4590. ProtectingAOWorkers.com. Workers' compensation attorney Matt Matthews has many years of experience litigating workers' compensation cases here in Alabama. If you are hurt on the job, he can help you get the benefits you deserve. Visit protectingalworkers.com or call 334-721-4878. The Hank Williams Museum. This 6,000-square-foot museum is located at 118 Commerce Street, just about a mile to the west of us here at Crampton Bowl. You can take a step back in time and learn about the musical history and life of a Montgomery man who is known as a legendary singer, Hank Williams. Browse large gift shop. As always, groups are welcome. And then we'd also like to thank Chris's Famous Hot Dogs. Chris is celebrating 101 years in business here in the capital city, just located down from the Capitol at 138 Dexter Avenue. Chris's Famous Hot Dogs. Taste the tradition. Call orders in advance 334-265-6850. We'd also like to thank Mid-State Burglar Bars and Ironworks. Mid-State Burglar Bars and Ironworks is a local owned and operated business. They have been in business since 1985 and serve Montgomery and the surrounding counties. They build and install burglar bars, AC guards, storm doors, and more. Make sure to check out the decorative handrails. They are a work of art. Their philosophy is being honest, dependable, fair priced, and to treat each customer with respect. Call Midstate 334-313-9015. And Darryl will give us the rest of our sponsors.
Well, American Oak and More, we want to thank them. They're committed to offering exceptional furniture at affordable prices. American Oak and More's friendly staff will help you locate exactly what you're looking for, from patio, mattresses, dining, bedroom, living room, entertainment consoles, youth furniture, occasional furniture, and more. They were voted the best in Montgomery. You don't pay with fake money, so don't settle for fake wood. Call 334-277-7793. La Zona Rosa Hillwood Mexican Cafe, located at 2838 Zelda Road, minutes from downtown Montgomery, and one of the area's finest Mexican restaurants. From their great lunch selection and value to the tablecloth and candle evening atmosphere for dinner, La Zona Rosa has something for all. Dine-in or carry-out is available. Call 334-274-1153. Industrial Specialty Company Incorporated. Since its inception in 1974, Industrial Specialty Company has built an international reputation as the premier provider of high-quality precision machine parts and assemblies, custom-designed and fabricated industrial equipment, fixturing, tooling, aluminum anodizing, finishing, and military spec painting. Virtually every operation necessary in creating a part is completed under one roof, enabling them to control each project each step of the way. Their one-stop shop organization greatly simplifies client purchasing efforts and significantly reduces costs and lead times of products. Visit their website, www.industrialspecialty.com, or call 334-277-2224 to learn more about ISCI. And our media partner, the stations of Blue Water Broadcasting, News Talk 93.1, Kiss FM 97.9 Jams, Bama Country 98.9, Yo 100.5, Classic Country The Possum 104.9, The Gump, and 107.1 The Vault. They are local folks helping local businesses. Call them today and let them help your business at 334-244-0961. We want to thank all of our sponsors. We couldn't do it without them, and please support them. And when you do, tell them the Montgomery Sports Network sent you.
And as a reminder, you're watching the Montgomery Sports Network. This is the Hank Williams pregame show. You can watch us all year long here throughout the season. Alabama high school football coming your way. MyMGMSports.com. Go to Facebook, like us on there. A lot of you have been doing that here the last couple weeks. You can follow us on Twitter. We post highlights on there, videos, and so forth. And if you're watching us, let us know. We'd love to have you along. You can watch us on YouTube. You can go to YouTube and search Montgomery Sports Network, and it'll pull up the videos and has a whole list of games we'll have there throughout the season and so forth. As always, if you please support our sponsors and tell them we sent you out there to see you and so forth here from the Montgomery Sports Network. So we're just about 14 minutes to kick off. We should have the national anthem here in just any moment or so as we hear the Park Crossing Band off to the side here make some noise. But, one of the aspects about there's only 5 games tonight in the state, Darryl. Got to be tough for Dothan to come up here for people to get off work. I don't expect them to have many fans here. That could be an issue, as far as sport goes and so forth. The band's here already, but it's got to be tough when the players get up here Thursday night for a game knowing they're not going to get back to probably midnight tonight and have school tomorrow.
That's true. And one other factor, though, that's probably not a factor, some of these schools play in their own stadiums, at their own high school, more of a community-driven feel to it. Well, Dothan plays in a municipal stadium, Rip Hughes Field, just like Park Crossing plays here at Crampton Bowl. So, playing in a structure, sometimes when a team comes in here and plays like this, they get a little bright-eyed, and it's a little different feel, a little more big time. Dothan won't be awed by that at all. They're used to playing in a similar stadium, but I think you're right about the crowd on a Thursday night. People have to get back up and go to work tomorrow morning. That 2-hour drive, it may be kind of sparse as far as the crowd's concerned. But we'll see. I think we're in for a good football game. I'm looking forward to watching both offenses, which Dothan, surprisingly, as we get into this third game of the year, has shown more the dynamic aspect than Park Crossing does.
Yeah, and there's no doubt they've been the more consistent offense here. They lean heavily on the running back Ty Webb, as we mentioned a few minutes ago. Quarterback Dawsey and Doss both have the ability to throw the ball and connect with the receivers, Fulmer and Owens and so forth. Park Crossing still kind of searching for some answers on that side of the football. So I think we're in for a very close contest tonight. Had this game been played here last year, we'd probably be looking at the other way and say, hey, Park Crossing probably going to run away with it, because in the all-time series, Park Crossing leads at 3-1. Dothan won the first game in this series back in 2014, 32-14. 2015, Park Crossing won 21-7. Park Crossing won again 38-7 in 2016. And last year, down in Dothan, Park Crossing won 58-14.
Yeah, that was blowout city. They ran away with it. And I remember the game the first year, and thinking 2014, where Dothan won that game. I remember listening to Coach Smitty Grider on the radio getting interviewed midweek, and just talking about how he felt like that was probably one of the worst performances that they had all year. He felt like that football game got away from them, even though it was their first year. And boy, did they ever make up for it in the series after that with winning 3 in a row, and then last year just absolutely boat racing Dothan down there. So it'll be interesting. You know, the historical records and how they match up, the history of the two teams. It's really different when you've got a program like Park Crossing that's only been around 4 or 5 years. There's not much tradition there built over a period of time. But, you know, Dothan definitely remembers what happened to them last year, so it'll be interesting to see how they come out to try to avenge that.
Okay, and once again, the Hank Williams Museum, just remind you, you're watching the pregame show here. Keys to the game, we've talked about them already a little bit. One interesting aspect, we talked about the coaches, new coaches, but the other thing is both of these coaches have never been in the playoffs, and one of them is going to take a big step towards potentially securing a berth for themselves in the playoffs for the first time.
Yeah, that's interesting. And it's interesting that both men were selected to lead these teams without having any playoff experience, and surely Park Crossing's had a lot of playoff experience. So to choose somebody that struggled to get into the playoffs or hasn't get into the playoffs is an interesting take on this.
And both coaches, Wheeler was at Sidney Lanier for a few years, and then, of course, Coach White was at Northview, which is also located down in Dothan, as we are just about 10 minutes from kickoff here for this Class 6A Region 2 matchup. A couple other things here. We have a lot of games in the area. Only 5 games in the state tonight. I looked at the schedule before I came down here this evening. We're the only one really playing tonight in the Montgomery area. A lot of big 6A games tomorrow night. We have Wetumpka, Calera. Stanhope Belmore's playing Benjamin Russell. So a lot of opportunities here for teams to get off to a 1-0 start and put a foot towards the playoff positioning as the season goes on.
You know, Kane, what's amazing to me is here we are the first week of September, and this is week 3 of high school football season. I mean, it flies by so fast when you start the third week of August like that. But we are now getting into the third game where coaches are starting to find out a lot about their football teams, about the personnel they want to utilize, about who is making plays for them. Their roster's pretty much settled in, their depth chart. So here we are in week 3. That's where you start to see a lot of regional matchups, and that's, of course, what we're getting tonight. And you make an excellent point about step 1 towards the playoffs. You got to start winning your region games, and this is an opportunity to put an opponent that's trying to fight for a playoff spot with you one step behind you. And
once again, we're live here at Crampton Bowl in Montgomery. For those of you unfamiliar, Crampton Bowl was about 10 years ago. They took some seats out of the end zone, have redone it. It's the site of the Camellia Bowl here during the postseason and so forth. So a lot of good things happening here at Crampton Bowl with the complex and so forth the last few years. So we're just about 8 minutes from kickoff here on this matchup, and we're going to listen in to the national anthem here played by the Park Crossing Band. And I stand corrected. That was not the Park Crossing Band. That was our PA announcer, Graham Dunn, putting the feet in there. Nevertheless, national anthem, we're ready for football. Just about 6 minutes from kickoff. You're watching the Exterminatech Pest Control Game of the Week here on the Montgomery Sports Network. It is the Dothan Tigers visiting Park Crossing here tonight at Crampton Bowl. So tell your friends, tune us in. That NFL game between the Eagles and Falcons doesn't start for a little while yet. So, in fact, you can turn the sound down there and watch us all night if you want to. But if you have a Roku, you can watch us on your device there. You can watch us on your phone. There's a lot of avenues to pick up games this year. If you're out and about at another stadium watching a game on Friday night, you can still tune us in and so forth on your device and so on. A lot of ways for you to connect with us here on the Montgomery Sports Network. You can like us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter, and you can go to our website, mymgmsports.com, to look up the schedule for the entire season. So as we approach the 5-minute mark to kick off here at Crampton Bowl. Turf field here. Should be a fast track. Last week we were on grass. We had rain, but the field held up pretty good up at Tiger Stadium in Clanton. I would say probably Park Crossing has an advantage there because they play on turf all the time compared to grass with Dothan.
It's a good point. And with the fast tracking, and we are to commend the field crew in Clanton. I mean, to keep that field playable with as much rain as they got last week was excellent. But this is not going to be an issue tonight. Fast track, like you mentioned, turf field, definitely conducive to high-level athletes, with the Camellia Bowl being hosted here at Crampton Bowl, for those not familiar with that. And, like Kane said, I know a lot of people that I talked to this week, if they've got a smart television, smart TV, watch us on YouTube. Check us out on YouTube. You can watch the game as well. And watching on your TV, watch some local high school football action if you're in the Montgomery area. If you're in Dothan, can't make it up here, we want to welcome you guys and hope that you're tuning in and watching your Dothan Tigers as well.
So captain's about ready to go out for the toss here. Looks like the quarterback, Robinson's down there for Park Crossing, one of the captains. And he had some big shoes to fill, as we addressed in the pregame show here. He replaced, first there was Malik Cunningham, as Darryl mentioned earlier, who went to Louisville. And then last year the quarterback, Cam Taylor, who has gone to Nebraska. So Park Crossing has put out some big-time players to go to Power 5 schools the last few seasons.
They really have. It's been a quarterback factory. And anytime you have two guys ahead of you go to Louisville, Nebraska, there's some pressure on Trevor Robinson to fill those shoes, to keep that legacy intact of great quarterbacks. And so Trevor Robinson has not thrown it as much as his predecessors did under Smitty Grider's offense. They've been a little bit more conservative, a little bit more on the ground. And I feel like, Kane, for them to expand and extend and go deep in the playoffs, two things have to happen. Number one, they are going to have to become a little more balanced and throw the ball a lot more. That air attack is potent, and they need to play to their strengths. And then secondly, they're going to have to be a little bit more sound defensively, because as you get further in the playoffs, you see that defenses at the end of the day a really good defense can stop prolific passers and prolific offenses, and Park Crossing needs to do that.
Yeah, it's all about the little things the further you go along. We saw that last year with Wetumpka. They got some momentum going, and they were a force to be reckoned with here. Park Crossing's had a lot of success the last few seasons. Dothan trying to find a way to get back in the 6A playoffs here. They've struggled the last few seasons. Obviously, last year their coach was Kevin Jackson, and this year Coach White comes back to his alma mater for the Tigers. The other captains, along with Robinson for Park Crossing, is number 44, Cameron Milner, and offensive lineman number 77, Justin Hardy. I think they'll wait to about 3 minutes to go on the clock here as the clock continues to head towards triple zeros here at Crampton Bowl. That's exactly what they're doing as they hit 3 minutes. They're headed out towards midfield, and we'll see who gets the football here first night. But a beautiful night. Not much breeze at all here at Crampton Bowl in Montgomery. In fact, the flags down here just sitting still off to our left out here by Madison Avenue. Clear skies, no threat of rain like we had last week. Those of you that were watching with us in Clanton, ended up being a 5-hour night. We didn't get out there to midnight, which is fine too, but we were able to get that game in and so forth, so that was a good thing as we move into region play here this week at the Class 6A level.
One thing we did not mention, Kane, that'll be interesting, I haven't gotten word, and I don't know officially, but you have to wonder if any Park Crossing players will be suspended for this football game. Of course, ugly incident last Friday night after the game. We can't fail to mention it, between Jeff Davis and Park Crossing as they were shaking hands in the handshake line. A brawl broke out between Park Crossing and Jeff Davis. Punches were thrown. a player with with an assistant coach, an assistant coach with or head coach with an assistant principal. So there was a lot going on. And I don't know. I haven't gotten word. I tried to look today. I pulled up some articles. If anybody has been suspended, we know the communications director of the Alabama High School Athletic Association asked for the game tape. We didn't do the game. So it'll be interesting to see if there's anybody from Park Crossing that is sitting tonight because of that.
Yeah, that is an issue potentially. There was, as you said, after the game last week between Jeff Davis and Park Crossing, but we won't know that really till they get out on the field. If we see some of their key players start not out there, we'll have to make the assumption that either they have an injury or there was some sort of penalty for last week's incident after the game. Park Crossing lost the toss. Dothan chose to defer, so it looks like Park Crossing will receive the opening kickoff and get that offense out there on the field first, as both teams are lined up to run through their banners here at Crampton Bowl. Dothan off to our left, and off to the right will be Park Crossing. Again, not much of a crowd here tonight. Last year, some of the Friday night games here, we had 10, 11,000 here. The playoff game between Carver and Wetumpka, there was probably about 15,000 people here.
That was a great environment. I was actually doing a public address for that game here, and it was one of the best football environments at a high school level. It reminded me, for those that were here in the late 80s and early 90s, when high school football was at its peak at the bowl, and well, I would say at its peak was in the 60s. But when Jeff Davis and Lee used to, strap it on, and you had the Fred Beasley teams, and that was when it was crowded and it was sold out and standing room only. That was the kind of atmosphere that was here for the playoffs last year.
Yeah, you say the peak. I hear it all the time from my in-laws. They went to Sidley Lanier back in the 60s. They talk about how they had to buy tickets back before the school year started and it was sold out.
It was a lottery system back then, too. To watch Bart Starr and some of those guys, in the 60s and the late 50s, early 60s, Robert E. Lee came into existence in 1956, and they fielded the first football team in 1957, and that roster was just filled with guys that went on to Alabama and other SEC schools to play that were on the Robert E. Lee roster. So, yeah, that was the heyday. It was, from what I've heard, it was standing room only. It was a lottery system to get student tickets to get in here, and it was the event on a Friday night. There was no Thursday night games. There was no Saturday morning games back then. It was all Friday night, and that's what people did.
And if those of you unfamiliar, Park Crossing is the newest high school in Montgomery out of the public school system. They were just added in 5-6 years ago as a program. It's been Lanier, Carver, then Robert E. Lee, then Jeff Davis in the 70s, and now Park Crossing was the newest public high school to open, minus the magnet schools and so forth here within the city. So we're about ready for kickoff here at Crampton Bowl, Class 6A, Region 2. It looks like number 35 for Dothan is going to kick things off for us. That is Brody Barnett, the kicker. He's a junior for the Tigers. And looks like back deep for Park Crossing will be number 3, Osborne, and number 5, Lewis, back to receive.
I think the worst thing football has ever done, Kane, is go to multiple numbers. I cannot stand that. I don't know about you.
I know.
I don't care that you're on offense and you're on defense. It makes it difficult in special teams because anyone can be back there. One number for one player is what I'd like to see.
Yeah, with numerous duplicate numbers here for Park Crossing. We'll try to keep them straight as best we can this evening here at Crampton Bowl. So we are on the way. And it's a short lollipop kick to the near side here. And a nice grab there by number 26 for Park Crossing. Looked like a center fielder retreating and catching the ball. That was Joshua Rudolph on the catch.
Very heads up because that was, again, over his shoulder, Kane, running backwards. And if that ball drops, it's a live football. I don't know if that was on purpose or if he just hit that when he kicked it off, but it was dangerous, and it was a heads-up play there by Rudolph.
So it looks like Lewis will be in the backfield here. Running back Robinson will be the quarterback for Park Crossing as they'll come out with 4 wide receivers to get this game started. Dothan playing a 3-man front to start out. Robinson's going to look to throw on first down. Goes over the middle, and that pass is complete near the first down marker at the 45. It's actually going to be a gain of 10 and a first down for Park Crossing.
Dubose makes a nice catch there, sits right down on the 45-yard line on the pass from Robinson, finds the open spot in the zone, Kane, sits down. If that ball is thrown a little bit higher and leads him, he can get 5 or 10 more yards.
So 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line, and this time they're going to go to a more of an offset here look with a tight end and a wing back. And Lewis is going to get it. He's going to go to the right side, and he's going to pick up about 2 out to the 47.
Lewis is a threat, and obviously you've got to establish the running game if you're Park Crossing, because you can't do anything off of that. If you want to pull it out and go deep and throw the ball, you have to establish the running game, and so that's what Park Crossing's trying to do, get a little more balance. I like they came out on first down, though, Kane, and put it up in the air.
So 2nd down and 8, as we are just a minute into the action here at Crampton Bowl. This time they'll go back to 2 receivers on each side. I got to flip Lewis over to, now they're going 5 wide, no way in the backfield. Dothan showing a blitz. Robinson's going to take it on the run. No, he's going to, it's basically a run-pass option there, and it goes incomplete. So it looked like Dothan was ready for the empty backfield, and Park Crossing tried to counter there.
That was just a one-step back. Trevor Robinson looked like he was going to run the quarterback draw, Kane, and then right before he got to the line of scrimmage, he threw it. A little trickeration on that. Had his receiver, he just dropped it, or he'd still be running.
So it is 3rd down and 8 here for Park Crossing. Clock stopped momentarily with 10:50 left here in the first quarter. This time we'll have 3 receivers with a slot back to the right. Osborne off to the bottom of our screen here. Or check that, Dubos to the bottom of our screen here for Park Crossing. Lewis is going to get it. He is met head on at the line of scrimmage, and he will not have any gain for Dothan. That was number 3, the inside linebacker, Zamian Fulmer, on the tackle.
See, that's the difference in philosophies between head coaches. On 3rd and 7, I think Smitty Grider would have had confidence in his quarterbacks putting it up, and they were proficient in the air. They try to run with Lewis off right tackle and get nothing.
So 4th down, punting situation here early going. So the good field position is wasted here for Park Crossing, as it looks like back deep for Dothan is number 6, and that is going to be James to receive the kick. It rolls on the ground. He plays it off one hop at the 15. Now spins out of some room. Has a blocker over there. Across the 20. Look out. This thing's going to open up. Coming near sideline to the 30. Stutter steps for a second and finally brought down to the 36-yard line. So it's a 20-yard return for Dothan.
Yeah, that was a great return that time by, I believe that's James, Eric James, the second. Kind of cut it back against the grain. It looked like I thought it was going to break for bigger yards, and it did came. But as it is, nice punt return setting up Dothan at the 37-yard line, first down.
So first down, and it is going to be Dawsey coming out at quarterback, but the running back to start out here looks like it's going to be number 26, Reeves, in the backfield with him.
He had a rushing touchdown against Rehoboth last week.
And they've dropped the step on the first play. The ball is loose on the ground, and Park Crossing has it. And racing down towards the end zone is going to be number 12, and that is going to be a Park Crossing touchdown to start the game. That is going to be the safety, Jalen Warren, with the score. A scoop and score, and it is 6-0 Park Crossing.
And the defensive touchdowns and the special teams touchdowns and the non-offensive touchdowns continues for Park Crossing. It looked like Dothan had some yards on that reverse cane. It looked like they were going to spring that big wide, but could not handle on the handoff from Reeves to the wide receiver. As it is, he fumbles, and it gets picked up and returned for a touchdown.
So what a start for Park Crossing. Coach Wheeler has to be happy with that. And if you're Dothan, you just got to be like, that play looked like it was going to set up. You're right, That reverse looked like it was there to start the game. Now Park Crossing, they have the tee out there. They're showing that little water bucket play. Looks like the kicker is number 3 for Park Crossing. I'm going to assume that is Osborne. Now I'm going to, based on his height, I'm going to assume that's, I don't know. It's one. We got duplicate numbers out there.
Could be Julius Owens, but
anyway, the kick is up, and it is no good wide to the right. So it is 6-0 Park Crossing. 9:40 left. That was a 25-yard touchdown run for Jalen Warren, the safety for the Thunderbirds.
Nice scoop and score. You're taught, Kane, in that situation to fall on the ball, especially an artificial surface where it could do all kind of crazy things. But Warren trusted his instincts, picked it up on the bounce. I think it was like the second bounce, took it to the house. Now, he did have a nice block out there by number 7 for Park Crossing. Ahmad Daly, the linebacker, was out there kind of running interference for him. But as it is, Park Crossing gets on the board first. Not an offensive touchdown, but a quick 6 points.
Yeah, and you got to figure for Coach White and Dothan, they probably scripted that play, worked on it, saw something they had on film, come out here, get it started with a bang, and no pun intended here, but it blows up in their face. So.
And it was there. I mean, I think they would have gotten at least 20 yards out of around the left end.
So Osborne is kicking off. I heard Graham Dunn. That's the name he mentioned for number 3, so we'll go with that. So Osborne's kick is away, and this one's going to hit at the 15, and that's trouble back there. Looks like Doss has the ball working left side and gets out of there, and there's a big hit out of bounds, no flag. So Doss misplayed the ball, was able to get out of trouble, and gets it out towards the 19-yard line where it will be 1st and 10 for the Tigers.
Interesting. We saw this last week. Doss is their backup quarterback, and he's back there returning kickoff. So you lose your backup quarterback if your starter goes down. Makes for a very interesting rest of the football game.
So the quarterback is Cameron Dawsey coming out, and the running back will be Reeves, number 26 for Dothan. We'll go 2 receivers to the near side with a slot back, H-backers, a man in motion. And they're going to give it off to Reeves, and he is met at the line of scrimmage and dropped for no gain. A good job by the Park Crossing defense to start it out here.
Yeah, swarming defense by Park Crossing that time. They were not fooled at all. And Perry on the stop for the first man to go in and hit him for Park Crossing does a good job to stuff the line.
So we'll call down 2nd down and officially 11 here at Crampton Bowl. This time they'll go 4 wide, 2 to each side here for Dothan, as Reeves stays in the backfield with Dawsey. Dawsey's going to look to throw. He's going deep near side here, and it's a great catch by number 10, Owens, out at the 45-yard line. It's a gain of 22 and a 1st down.
Owens is a senior, big target. Looks about 6'2 or 6'3 from up here, Kane, but he high-pointed that football, went up and got it. Great job that time by number 10, Andrew Owens.
Great point on the high point there. It looked like Park Crossing was some sort of zone. He got between the safety and the corner and made the grab. So 1st and 10 for Dothan. Trips to the near side. Reeves still in the backfield with Dawsey.
And Cameron Doss, the quarterback, in on the slot as well. That'll be interesting to see if there's a trick play here.
Reeves gets the handoff, and he is head on here by the Park Crossing defense. It was number 10 making the tackle for Park Crossing. That was Koki Lee on the play.
They're not fooling anybody, Kane, on that dive play off tackle. Park Crossing's got that sniffed out, and he's got it sniffed out early.
So loss of 2, 2nd and 12 for the Tigers of Dothan as they are shuffling players in and out. This time I see Webb in the backfield now. So we'll see if he gets a carry this time. He's been their most effective runner so far through 2 games.
Obviously the bigger back is Reeves. Webb's more shifty, more elusive.
Webb gets the handoff, and he's going to squirt his way out to about the 45 for a gain of 2. And it'll bring up a 3rd down and long. 3rd down and about 10 for the Tigers.
Yeah, he gets back to the original line of scrimmage, and he did a good job of doing that by ducking under the defense of Park Crossing that time, who came in and rushed quickly. They are really blowing up, Kane, the line of scrimmage, the point of attack. Park Crossing is dominating the scrimmage line right now.
So it's 3rd down and 10 at the 44. They're going to go trips to the left side as Owens will come to the bottom of the screen here. It's time they move a linebacker out on him along with the cornerback. Now Park Crossing showing blitz. They're going to rush 5. And Dawson steps up. If he can get loose, he has room. He does. But he's going to be dropped at the 50-yard line. Closing in like a heat-seeking missile there was Darius Hodges for Park Crossing.
Hodges did a great job keeping him towards the boundary, keeping Doss towards the boundary because he gained 6. He needed 10, and he kept him from getting that last 4.
So 4th down and 5. And it looks like Dothan's going to put the punt team on to kick it. And I believe that is number 56. That is Billy Turner going to punt.
Defensive lineman.
Hey, gotta love it.
Punting for Dothan, number 2.
Turner in punt formation for Dothan.
I believe that's probably DuBose who's back deep to receive for Park Crossing.
Yeah, Grant DuBose, the receiver. He had a punt return last week for a touchdown against Jeff Davis. Good snap. Kick is away. Kicks it away from DuBose. It takes a bounce for Park Crossing. It's going to be dropped dead around the 27-yard line. As we have 6:02 left here in the first quarter, is Park Crossing 6 and Dothan nothing. So we should have looks like the head official is going to take the heat time out here. Good decision by him to take it before the possession changes. So 6:02 left. We'll keep it right here. Park Crossing 6, Dothan nothing. We'll have to see how that Dothan defense responds. They were on the field the first time, got the quick stop, got possession for their offense, decent field position, and then all of a sudden they come back out the next time and they're down 6-0.
Yeah, the one thing that was key for them, though, they did pick up one first down, which kept the defense off the field a little bit longer. You don't want that real quick turnaround where you get right back out there again and have a 3 and out. So they did with that nice pass play, got a first down, and then just got stagnant with the running game. They look like they're going to have to do something outside, maybe some jet sweeps, maybe get outside pulling the guard or the tackle, because running between the tackles right now, there's just no running room for Dothan.
So 1st and 10 for Park Crossing. As we come out of the timeout, the state of Alabama mandates a heat timeout here through the first 3-4 weeks of the season. It's a safety issue, and with the temperature hovering around 90 all day here in Montgomery, the players definitely like that break and get a sip of water there and so forth. So 1st and 10 for Park Crossing as we get back underway as Robinson comes out.
Justin Hardy coming off the field for Park Crossing, and he is throwing up as he's coming off the field. I'm watching him, so that could be heat or that could be hydration, something, but he is very sick, bent over right now.
A low snap, and Lewis is dropped in the backfield for a big loss there. Good defense by Dothan. It was Fulmer making the tackle, but I think it was McNeely that made the initial play to push it back about 5 yards.
Big loss on first down. You don't, if you're Park Crossing, you don't want to be behind the chains. It's not conducive to their offense. And now one of their starting offensive linemen's on the sideline sick, and we'll see how Park Crossing responds.
So 2nd and 16. They're going to roll the pocket to the right. Robinson looks, throws, and it goes off the hands of his receiver over there. That was Osborne he was looking for, and it'll bring up 3rd down. But there is a flag on the play. Back in the area, offensive holding, and that's exactly what we have.
Trying a little different wrinkle that time as Coach Wheeler rolling out Robinson, trying to get him outside the pocket. Runs to the short side of the field at that point, and there just wasn't much there.
So it'll be interesting. Let's see if Dothan's going to mark it off or they're going to make it 3rd and long. Decision time here.
Yeah, they're going to mark it off and take the field position, even though it's 2nd down and have to replay 2nd down.
So they're officially going to spot it at the 6. They got to get all the way out to the 36. So 2nd down and 30 for Park Crossing. I laugh, but, you know, in week 1, Stanhope Elmore had 2nd down and 30 in almost the exact part of the field, and they end up getting the first down after a penalty. So we'll see what happens here with 5:21 left in the first quarter. Looks like Robinson gets his signals. They're going to go 2 receivers to each side here.
I'd watch Osborne in the slot.
Robinson's going to pull at the last second, and there's no gain there. He gets back to about the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
Really playing conservative inside the shadow of their own goalpost. They do not want to obviously turn the ball over, have a sack, which create even worse field possession. So a little conservative handoff there gets no gain.
So 3rd down and 30 for Park Crossing. We see a number of players running in and out. We didn't see this last year with the Thunderbirds. They kind of kept that same 11 almost on the field exclusively, and they could go very tempo and go real fast. And now I hear a whistle out there from one of the officials. I think it's an equipment issue for one of the Park Crossing players. That looks like number 8, Kane, is coming off the field, and number 11, McGee's going to come back on for him. So 3rd and 30, 4:45 left first quarter. Fast-moving first quarter, if I do say so.
It really is.
Low snap, it rolled back there, and a throw complete, and a nice room. Osborne, he breaks the tackle, and he's loose. He might go the distance. He's ahead of the field of 40, still going 30. They're not going to catch him. Officially 94 yards and a touchdown.
Exactly what the doctor ordered. We said, watch Osborne in the slot. He moved to the other side of the field, went in motion. This time he held on to the football. Poor tackling from Dothan, and on 3rd and 30, Park Crossing not only breaks it for the first down, they go 94 yards for the touchdown.
Well, that's twice now I've had the privilege of seeing a 2nd and 30 where result in a first down, or in this case a touchdown. There is a flag apparently. I think it's going to be a sideline warning. But Osborne spun out of there 2 or 3 times.
Just a great individual effort.
And we talked about him in the pregame. He was one of the big returning receivers. They had trouble getting in football in the first few games, but here tonight he's made his presence known here in the first quarter. Now the teams are walking back. Still no signal from the head official. Scoreboard currently says 12-0 Thunderbirds. It's a dead ball foul, unsportsmanlike conduct on the bench, Park Crossing, sideline warning. So that will come on the kickoff. They could have enforced it on an extra point, but nevertheless, the touchdown is going to stand.
Yeah, and I didn't know if it was something. It looked like it had to be a solid. I didn't see a clip. I didn't see a hold. I mean, they just basically escorted Tremaine Osborne to the end zone, but never touched anybody.
My guess is the official was trying to play and probably banged into one of the coaches who came out on the field of celebration. We saw that last year in the national championship game. Georgia scored a touchdown. They got a sideline warning for coming on the field also. So extra point attempt here. Looks like Osborne's going to kick if he can catch his breath maybe.
Well, at least nobody Mike Tomlin somebody and stuck their leg out.
So 4:21 left, 12-0 Thunderbirds. And looks like they're going to do some trickeration here. They're going to toss it out here. Oh, look at this. It's going to be a pass.
Wow.
Nice play design. Nice play design. Dubose with the throw, Kane with the catch, and it is 14-0 Park Crossing.
That was a very, very creative and innovative two-point conversion. The referees are talking. I don't see a marker down on the field, but they are talking like there is a problem. I don't know if it was motion or if it was past the line of scrimmage, but what a beautifully drawn-up play by Park Crossing for the two-point conversion.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Maybe they didn't have enough men on the line of scrimmage, but that was well designed by Coach Wheeler and his staff. Ineligible man downfield, so they're going to have to back it up and do it again, so take the 2 points off the board here.
Someone must have just released early or got too far down, and that is tough when you're running a trick play like that you normally don't see in that formation. It's difficult to hold the line of scrimmage and not release downfield, and apparently offensive lineman for Park Crossing did just that.
So 12-0 Thunderbirds. They're going to have to probably kick this extra point as they'll move it back to the 8-yard line. And I think I jinxed ourselves. I said we had a fast-moving first quarter. Now we've just been delayed.
20 seconds. 20 seconds have come off the clock since you said that. So
But 4:21 left, and the players on the extra point team that ran down there to sit down and get some Gatorade are having to rush back out here to do another attempt.
I would imagine they'll try to kick the extra point now. Obviously, it's a lot harder to punch it in from the 8 or 9 yard line. But, well, they don't look like they've got their kicker in.
No, it looks like they're going to go for 2. Robinson's coming out. I see
Osborne's in the game, but he's not in kicking formation, so Trevor Robinson's back in.
I think they got too many men on the field, and that was a delay game, so it doesn't matter on that. There's a delay game penalty here. And they're going to back it up 5 yards and then move it back to the 13.
Nothing drives coaches more crazy than getting a penalty off of a penalty. When you have that much time to set up and run something, it's very, very frustrating.
So Robinson, the quarterback, is still out there. And they're going to go for 2 here. They got a one-on-one matchup here at the bottom of the screen with Kane. We'll see if they go to him maybe on a toss-up play. That's what's going to be a jump ball near side, and there's miscommunication. Kane did a slant, and Robinson threw it to the corner like he was going to get that straight down the sideline.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. He threw a fade, and Kane just turned up at the 5 yard line. So that beautiful drawn-up 2-point conversion goes for naught. But as it is, Park Crossing does get on the board again with another touchdown on 3rd and 30 from the shadow of their own goalpost. And now looking back on it, probably should have declined the penalty.
Yeah.
You gave them an extra down, and look what they did with that extra down.
Yeah, they had them stuffed on 2nd down, and it was 3rd and 30. And next thing you know, Osborne made a play, and he was off to the races. But Coach Wheeler and the staff will take that any way they can get it. Now here's Dothan again, trailing adversity. Really just 2 plays, the difference in this game right now. Other than that, both teams haven't struggling to move the ball so far on the ground. Little success in the air with the big play. We'll see if Dothan can get their offense, though. But due to the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, the sideline penalty there on the 94-yard touchdown pass, Park Crossing will be kicking off on the 25-yard line.
And Dothan just doesn't need to panic. They need to stay within their system. They're only down 12. They're going to get good field position here.
And Webb takes the kick at the 30, comes near side across the 40, breaks out left, makes a man miss. He has some room. He's at midfield now, still going, and lowers the shoulder and drives ahead to the 44-yard line. Great field position for Dothan.
Now the key is Dothan has to put behind them, which just happened. It's tough mentally when you've got someone 3rd and 30 at the 6, and not only do they pick up the first down, they score on you. But if you can come back after this nice return and springboard off of that, and put this ball in the end zone and get some points, you're right back in this football game, mentally and physically.
So 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Webb will come out here at running back now in the backfield.
I'd like
with
to see
Dawsey.
him swing him out a little bit out of the backfield, throw a little flair to him, see what he can do in the open field.
They're going to give a handoff. It's going to be a sweep near side, and he's going to be dropped after a short gain at about the 42. It's a gain of 2 that time for Webb.
I'll tell you, I've been very impressed with the quickness and the speed of the Park Crossing defense. I mean, Dothan doesn't have slow backs and slow skill people, and those holes are closing rather quickly.
So 2nd down and 8. Taylor on the tackle that time for Park Crossing. And you have to figure Dothan, if they can get anywhere close within 5 yards, they're probably in about a 4-down range here right now, being down 12-0. And they got to get something going on offense here as the players look at the wristbands. Webb still in the backfield with Dawsey. H-back off to the left. 2 receivers to the near side. And there's a whistle, and I think we got a timeout taken by Dothan. That's exactly what it is. The play clock was about to run out. So the clock is stopped, 3:21 left. It is Park Crossing 12 and Dothan nothing. Here at Crampton Bowl, you're watching the Montgomery Sports Network. You can watch us at mymgmsports.com. This is the Extermin-Tech Pest Control game of the week. We have another game tomorrow night out of Trinity between Alabama Christian and Trinity. You can watch us out there tomorrow night. You can follow us on Twitter at mymgmsports. You can like us on Facebook. You can go to YouTube and search Montgomery Sports Network. A lot of different ways, Darryl, for people to watch us.
Yeah, and I got a nice text message from, give a shout-out to John Grider, the brother of Coach Smitty Grider, former coach here. He showed me his living room setup where he's got us on his nice big screen smart TV, probably eating supper, watching a little Park Crossing football, so we really appreciate him watching and following along as we are bringing you, local high school football action. And big Thursday night matchup here, and this is a big series, Kane, for Dothan. Big series. Yeah,
Class 6A Region 2 play getting underway here. It's 2nd down and 8 for the Tigers. Ball resting on the Park Crossing 41 after the nice kickoff return by Webb. And the Tigers got to make something happen here and get on the scoreboard, because last thing they want to do is fall behind 3 or 4 scores before halftime.
And I think they're in 4-down territory unless they get to like the 10 or something like that, where it's a chip shot field goal. I think you've got to try to answer those 2 quick scores just to shift momentum, back into the favor of Dothan right now.
So 2nd and 8. Head official helping one of the receivers, Owens, with his equipment there. And a 4-man front for Park Crossing. They're going to put in motion there. It's going to be an option near side. They're going to pitch it out here. And some nice running room coming down the near side. That's going to be number 13 for Dothan on the carry. That is Davis. Big yardage there, a gain of 25 and a 1st down.
We talked about it, Kane. Between the tackles just wasn't working. You had to get wide. You had to get out in the open field and open space. That's exactly what Davis does for Dothan, and he gets 23 yards and a 1st down.
So nice option play, nice design, and Dothan is in the red zone with the ball resting on the 18-yard line, as they're going to keep Webb in the backfield with Dawsey, the quarterback. In motion again. This time Webb's going to get it. He's going to try to bounce it out. Now cuts it up and spins his way forward for back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it.
Webb is very quick, very elusive, and look how fast Park Crossing's defense just clamps on him. They are rushing upfield so quickly, Kane, that to keep them honest, I'd love to see Dothan call a little screen pass right here.
So 2nd and 10 as Dawes checks back into the game for Dothan. He comes to the near side with Owens and Davis. Trips to the near sideline. No H-back this time for the Tigers. 2:05 left here in the 1st quarter. And Dawson's going to keep it, and he will have nowhere to go. He is thrown backwards by the defensive end, Koki Lee, for Park Crossing.
Great job by Koki Lee smelling that out, and he really got to the edge quickly to throw down Dawsey there, who had no room on the edge. He lost 6, I believe.
Yeah, 3rd and 16, ball sitting at the 24-yard line. Dothan going in the wrong direction at the moment. Let's see if they try to pick up half of it here. But Park Crossing has been getting good penetration with their D-line, as you mentioned just a moment ago, Darryl. So 2nd and 16. There's a snap. They're going to look to throw. Now it's going to be a screen pass near side. That's going to be Webb. And he plows his way forward down to the 19, picks up 5, and it'll bring up 4th down and 11.
Well, that answers the question about the screen pass. Dothan tried to run it. Park Crossing did a great job in pursuit and closing that off.
So 4th down, probably 4-down territory. I didn't notice their field goal kicker making them from this far in warm-ups, and they are going to go for it. The offense is staying out there. They're going to go trips to the left with Webb in the backfield with Dawsey. Owens down here at the bottom of the screen on the 20-yard line for the Tigers. They're going to go one-on-one, looking for Owens near side. Jump ball again. He has it. Was he in bounds? They're going to say no. He actually came down with that football, but now it fell out last second. So good try there. Good defense by Park Crossing.
Well, if anything, it shows us that Owens is a weapon on that fade where you just throw it up to him. That time he was double covered, was able to get up between both Park Crossing defenders, and that's got to be a little demoralizing for Dothan. They were all the way down to the 20-yard line and actually got to the 15 and couldn't do anything as far as putting points on the board. Turns it right back over to Park Crossing.
So here we go. 1st and 10 for Park Crossing. They're going to start out on their own 20-yard line, and they are in complete control at the moment here at Crampton Bowl with 37 seconds left in the first quarter. Here's Robinson, going to look to throw, flushed out of the pocket to the near side. He's going to keep it himself, and he's going to pick up positive yardage. He's going to work his way out to the 25-yard line for a gain of 5.
That was a good job by Robinson cutting inside the linebacker for Dothan. Number 45 that time. Jamel Harris almost had him for like a 2-yard gain, and Robinson just cut up inside of him and got 5 more yards.
So 12-0 Park Crossing. Clock winding down here. Under 10 seconds to play. Does not look like Park Crossing will get another playoff. So the clock is going to hit triple zeros here at Crampton Bowl. Our score is 12 for Park Crossing, nothing for Dothan. You are watching the Extermatech Pest Control Game of the Week here on the Montgomery Sports Network. We're going to take a timeout. We'll be back in just a moment. And welcome back to the Extermatech Pest Control Game of the Week. We're at Crampton Bowl. My name's Kane Young. I'm here with Darryl Dapprich. It is Park Crossing 12, Dothan nothing. The big play with the Thunderbirds in the first quarter here, the 25-yard scoop and score, and then the 94-yard touchdown pass to Osborne.
And that bodes well for Park Crossing. It was on a pass play, although it was just a little quick hitch. Osborne did all the work on a little 8-yard hitch, but he did a great job of spinning away from 2 defenders. And once he was in the open field, he was gone.
So it'll be 2nd down and 5 for Park Crossing as Hendricks is in the backfield this time. And they're going to bring Robinson near side. He's going to throw late, looking for Dubose. Has him out here, and it goes incomplete. Overthrew him that time. And they'll bring up 3rd down for Park Crossing.
That's a really tough throw to make where you got to kind of drop it over intermediary and then right into the hands of number 2, Dubose. It's tough enough to throw that with a regular 4 or 5-step drop. He was doing that on the run and just couldn't put the ball in the right spot.
So 3rd down and 5. Let's see, it'll be an interesting call here. They've been struggling to run the ball, and they've been successful with a couple quick passes, as you said, the slant ins or the quick pops that have turned into bigger plays for them. Actually, there's a flag. Ineligible man downfield. So Dothan actually accepts the penalty, so it's going to go back. It's going to be 2nd down and 10.
Twice they've got called for that tonight, once on the 2-point conversion, once here. They just have to do a better job of not releasing downfield.
And now we have another whistle. And then actually, I'm not sure what that was about. I'll hold my tongue there for a second. So 2nd down and 10. And Robinson's going to look to throw. Oh, great pressure. And a tackle there and a sack for Dothan. That was number 32 on the play. For the Tigers, that was Donald McLeod on the play.
Man, he shot out of there like a cannon and really closed fast on Robinson. McLeod did. Gave him no option to get away. So taking that penalty in this instance looks good. They're, again, now 3rd and long.
3rd and 24. The ball at the 6-yard line again here. And last time it was Osborne making the catch and spinning out of trouble and racing 94 yards for a touchdown. We'll see if that Dothan defense can get him off the field here, as Lewis has come back in the game at running back here for Park Crossing. 3 receivers to the near sideline. Dothan showing blitz. They're going to rush 4. And Lewis is going to pick up some positive yardage. He's going to get it out to about the 8 for a short gain of 2. It's 4th down in a punting situation for the Thunderbirds.
Well, Dothan's defense did its job. They held, even after a first down gain of 5 yards. They had the penalty, the big sack, and then 3rd down there. Even though they run blitzed there, they did not let them kind of do a jailbreak and get through. So Dothan, again, return man sitting back at the 40-yard line for Dothan. They should get good field position.
Yeah, Eric James back there for Dothan to return the kick. Clock running, 10:20 left the second quarter. 12-0 Park Crossing leads it. High snap, it goes out of the end zone, and it's a free 2 points for the Tigers.
And that's why you take the penalty, and that's what can happen in the shadow of your own goalpost. Anything can happen, so Dothan gets a very big break. Look at the momentum. Look how fired up their sidelines are.
Yeah, that sideline just pumped up there. The defense made a good stand. They didn't bury their heads in the sand there. Made a stand, and they get the free 2 points, the 2 points that Park Crossing didn't get on the scoreboard a moment ago.
Yeah,
so 14-0 looks way different than 12-2 at this moment.
That's a 4-point swing.
Yeah,
that's a 4-point swing. Two missed point after touchdowns, and then a 2-point safety right there. That could, you win by a field goal. Look how big that 4-point swing is.
Yeah, and we're expecting this game to go down to the wire, even though Park Crossing got out of here a little quick with a 12-0 lead. They're going to have to get the free kick here from the 20-yard line, and Dothan should get good field position again.
And if they can punch it in here or get any kind of sustained drive offensively, Kane, even if they get a field goal to cut this lead to a touchdown, you really got to feel good about yourselves, because Dothan was on the ropes, down 12-0. Park Crossing had the ball. Their defense stiffened, and that was big.
So it looks like Doss and is going back deep for Dothan along with Webb. They're currently on their own 25-yard line. We'll see if they move up a little bit.
Yeah, they're starting to come up. The backup quarterback, again, back deep to receive the free kick.
Yeah, we saw that last week with Sylacauga. Darryl referencing that Sylacauga kept putting their quarterback, their starter actually, back there to return kicks.
Until the fourth quarter when their running back went out with cramps, and they knew they had to ride that pony to win that ball game. He stopped returning kicks.
So 10-10 left. Free kick here for Park Crossing and is away. Webb's going to camp under at his 35 and has some room right sideline, cross midfield. Finally going to be driven out of bounds at about the 46-yard line. So Dothan's going to set up shop in Park Crossing territory.
Just exactly what they needed to get the 2 points on the safety. Come right back with the free kick, get the football in Park Crossing territory. Now the key is they got to get something going, sustained drive here. And, I'd look for Owens a lot more than just the predictable 3rd down, throw it up in the air. Throw to him on 1st down maybe. He's a weapon. Right now he's in the slot.
Yeah, they put him in the slot here on this possession. Fulmer down here at the bottom of the screen. We talked about him in the pregame. We haven't seen him get involved in the offense yet. And Webb is going to be in the backfield here. And they're going to run an option again near side. That's going to be 13 Davis on the carry. And he's going to drive his legs and pick up about 3 to the 43.
Davis just picked the wrong hole, Kane. And if he cuts that inside, the receiver trying to do a downfield block for him, he gets 5 more yards. He ran right into the back of his blocker.
So 2nd down and 7. 9:40 in the clock running here. Crampton Bowl with his Park Crossing 12, Dothan 2. We actually had a game the other week. The score was 2-0. I think it was over towards Linden, Marengo County. I can't remember who they played. They won a game 2-0. So here we are, 2nd and 7. Webb's going to stay in the backfield here with Dawsey. Trips to the far side. Fulmer at the bottom of the screen. There goes Webb in motion, but they're going to look for the slant. And that's going to be a catch down towards the 39-yard line.
Dossie's pass.
That's Doss on the reception for Dothan.
I just think that pass has got to come out a little quicker, Kane. He waited till the man was turned around and waited, had his back on the defender, had to seal off the defender, throw that early.
So we got a flag on the play. I don't even see where the flag's at or which official called it. But they're going to mark it off against Dothan. Still no signal or there now finally. Ineligible men downfield. There had to be somebody covered up because that pass was so quick.
It sure did have to be somebody. It wasn't a screen. There wasn't anyone scrambling around. He obviously was covered up.
So 2nd and 12 at the Park Crossing 48-yard line. Dothan having trouble getting going here on offense. This time they're going to bring an H-back in for the Tigers. Park Crossing 3-man front with a blitz coming from the linebackers. They're going to toss it to Webb right side, and he is met and he is dropped out there by Jaden Taylor, the linebacker for Park Crossing.
Park Crossing has had a tradition of really kind of undersized linebackers, but they're really quick. They play like strong safeties and free safeties. But what they are able to do is get outside and stop jet sweeps and toss sweeps, and that's exactly what Taylor did there. Really blew up that play in the backfield.
So 3rd and 19 for the Tigers. They're going in the wrong direction. And the last 2 times they've been in this situation, just kind of throwing it up to their receiver out there, Owens. Trips to the near side.
There's a mismatch down here, though, as far as numbers are concerned.
And parted like the Red Sea. Here goes Dawsey across midfield, and he is closed down to the 41-yard line. He picks up about 14 on the carry, and it's 4th down and only 5 all of a sudden.
Great block by number 7, Cameron Doss, who's the backup wide receiver or backup quarterback playing wide receiver. He really leveled the Park Crossing linebacker.
I'm sorry.
That puts them in a more, a sustainable 4th down, more doable.
Dothan's going to go quick here. Park Crossing was substituting. Trips to the right. Let's see if they just try to draw him offside. Looks like a fake signal as they turn to the sideline. Play clock still at 12 seconds. Plenty of time here for Dothan. Clock running, 7:20 left in the 2nd quarter. And we're still staring the sideline, and now it looks like we're going to have a timeout by Coach White. So we will keep it right here. It is Park Crossing 12 and Dothan 2. Decision time for Dothan.
Well, on 4th and 5, one thing I've noticed that has been open for Dothan if they're wanting to run that play is the quick hitter, the quick pass to Cameron Doss. Fulmer and Andrew Owens are your big play receivers. Doss has kind of been the possession guy. He's sat down in the middle of that zone. You could run a real quick 5-6 yard hitch here, Kane, and pick up the 1st down before Park Crossing's pressure gets to the quarterback.
So 7:09 left here till halftime. Dothan started this possession on their own 46. They looked like they were going to head for a 1st down. The penalty backed them up. Now it looks like they're going to punt it away here and play field position with 7:09 left here till halftime.
Yeah, maybe they just have a lot of confidence in their defense and the way their defensive has been playing, but you can't do better than starting at the 46, 45-yard line of your opponent, and it's just demoralizing. They cannot move the football.
So the Tigers are going to punt it. Looks like number 2 is back deep for Park Crossing. Kick is away. That's Dubose coming after it. It hits at the 12, takes a nice bounce, and goes out of bounds at the 7-8-yard line. A good kick there for Dothan. Officially marked at the 10-yard line.
Kind of what they wanted to do, Kane, is just pin them deep. So they do pin them back to the 10-yard line, and now it's, again, Dothan's defense called upon to make a stop and give the offense back in good territory.
And Coach White has to be thinking, hey, let's get a stop here, try to get a 3-and-out, get the ball back, maybe punch it in before halftime, and Dothan will get the ball to start the 2nd half here. So if they can force a turnover or get the ball back quickly, they have an opportunity to quickly swing this game without Park Crossing touching the football.
And other than that one big play that Park Crossing had on offense with the throw to Osborne, they really have not moved the ball and done anything offensively tonight.
So trips out to the far side for Park Crossing. Robinson calls the signals. He's going to hand this off to his back. Not much happening there. I picked up about a half yard. That was another running back for Park Crossing. That was number 10, Taylor on the carry. So obviously Coach Wheeler right now trying to find something to work here in the running game by giving all these backs a carry.
And number 57, Hendrick Langford, is down. Was coming off the field. 77, who went off sick, Justin Hardy, returns now. So you swap 57, Hendrick Langford, for number 77, Justin Hardy, who's back in the game, one of the captains in the pregame coin toss.
So 2 receivers each side here for the Thunderbirds. Taylor's going to stay in the backfield with Robinson. Osborne's in the slot to the near side. He's going to look to throw. Under heavy pressure. Escapes it. Now throws it last second, and a good coverage over there by Dothan. That was the safety breaking on the play. That was James. He almost had an interception.
Yeah, that was a great play, and it was a great read. You know, Robinson that time getting flushed out to his left, has to throw across his body cane, and you know when that happens, more often than not, it gets picked off. But Dothan's defensive front doing a great job applying pressure to Robinson.
So 3rd down and 9 for Park Crossing. They are backed up, and you know they have to be thinking they have to punt it here. They're going to be a little nervous after that last snap. So we'll see if Park Crossing can pick up the first down. They actually go with the H-back this time. Robinson's going to roll the pocket to the near side, throws. A nice catch there at the 21-yard line. It's going to be a first down as Osborne on the reception. It's the gain of 10 and first down for Park Crossing.
It's a perfect example of knowing where the sticks are and getting there, and that's exactly what Tremaine Osborne did. He knew where the first down marker was. He stuck it right there at the sticks, and that enables Park Crossing to get a much-needed first down.
So clock stops, 6:11 left, first quarter, and now we have a whistle.
Timeout for the official.
And it's going to be, they're going to take our heat timeout right here. So 6:11 left, first quarter. It is Park Crossing 12, Dothan 2. So to kind of recap what's happened here so far this evening, Dothan came out, got a 3-and-out quickly in the game. And on their first play for scrimmage, they fumbled, and Jalen Warren scooped and scored from 25 yards out to give the Thunderbirds a 6-0 lead. And then facing a 3rd and 30, Park Crossing was able to convert, and Tremaine Osborne spun out of a tackle and raced 94 yards for a touchdown, and was 12-0. And then Dothan was able to pin back Park Crossing deep. A bad snap, went out of the end zone on a punt, or scored 12-2. Since that time, Dothan's not been able to move the football, and Park Crossing here currently trying to get out of the hole. I feel like we've been playing the whole game and deep in Park Crossing territory.
Yeah, it really has felt that way, and Dothan just hasn't capitalized except for the snap. Park Crossing, that's a big first down they picked up there, getting outside of their own 10-yard line and you know, with an opportunity to not have to punt deep again. So let's see if they can sustain a drive. Again, the quick hitter and the scoop and score is what Park Crossing's points are. They haven't really sustained a long drive going down the field.
And it was the same thing last week for Park Crossing in their victory over Jeff Davis. They had a pick six and a punt return in that game that accounted for two of their 3 touchdowns. So the big plays with them so far this season. On 1st and 10 from the 21, Robinson's going to look to throw. Has some time, goes over the middle. Oh, he threw it late, and that was almost intercepted again. Pass was overthrown there as Jalen Lockhart came over from his corner position and made a play on the football.
What Robinson's doing is when he's throwing, he's shuffling his feet. He's almost like jumping in the air. His footwork is very poor mechanically, and that's why that ball sailed on him. He's got to plant that foot, set, follow through, not shuffle your feet when you're trying to release the football.
So 2nd and 10, 6:01 left here till halftime. As again, they're going to go 2 receivers to the left for Park Crossing with an H-back. And Robinson's going to roll the pocket left, looking, throws late, and that pass is going to be caught, and that's going to be complete for a first down. Osborne on the reception again, so they have something working there on that little 10-yard out route right now, Park Crossing does.
And Osborne's a wizard, is knowing exactly where the marker, well, they're going to measure. He might, to me, looks like he's about a half a yard short, Kane. He didn't. I spoke too soon. He didn't get to the first down stick.
Yeah, he was pushed out of bounds over there at about the 30.5-yard line. It looks like he's short by about just inches. So it's 3rd down and inches here for Park Crossing. But that's twice they've rolled the pocket, and Osborne was able to sneak out there, kind of stick his foot and break towards the sideline. And it looks like Park Crossing is going to go heavy here. They're bringing in several back. Actually, they're going to go Notre Dame box is what they're doing here on the short yardage. And the snap rolls back to Robinson. He's hit and dropped behind the line. It's no gain. Unbelievable. A good stand by the Dothan defense.
And that's all because of the bad snap. Timing really disrupted the timing there. Short hops, and he loses a yard because of it. I can't imagine Park Crossing would go for it here in their own territory.
You would not think so. Robinson's coming off, so fourth down. Looks like Park Crossing's going to punt it. Clock ticks under 5.5 left here in the second quarter. Dothan's going to keep the defense on the field, but they're going to drop James, it looks like, back deep. He's the regular return man, moving from his safety position. Better snap this time for Park Crossing. Kick is away. James gets it at the 35. Comes near side. He has some room. Cross midfield, still going, trying to cut it back and dropped at the 40-yard line. That is a 25-yard return. And Dothan again with great field position.
That was because, that return was set up, Kane, because of that line drive punt. I mean, very, very low, hard line drive punt gave James the opportunity to return that before the blocking could really set up, or before Park Crossing could get across midfield to stop him. And so that's another nice return, and same song, different verse, Dothan field position in Park Crossing territory.
So Coach White getting what he wants here, great field position. We'll see if Dothan can score here before the half. They have 4:53 to work with. As this time they're going to go with an H-back and a running back in the backfield is Webb. And it's going to be a zone read, but Webb's going to get it outside. He has some room, 35-30, still going down to the 25, driving down to the 21-yard line. It's a pickup of 18 on first down for Dothan.
That time, Dawsey sold it better. He held on to the ball a half a second longer before he finally released it to Webb, and because of that, Webb was able to get a big hit, big gain there.
So 1st and 10 for the Tigers. And a little different look there that time for Dothan. Good blocking there by the H-back. Matthew Peterson, number 44 for Dothan. First time I mentioned his name tonight, although he's been in the game several times. There's a four-man front for Park Crossing. They're showing blitz. This time Dawsey's going to pull it. Left side has some room. 15, 10, cuts it up down to the 7, and it's going to be first down and goal for the Dothan Tigers.
Yeah, now they're mixing it up a little bit. They're not as predictable. Can't tell if Dawsey's going to give it or keep it. And that's what you've got to have for deception on the defense. So Dawsey doing a great job of engineering this drive, and this is a huge drive for the Dothan Tigers.
Yeah, they got to finish it off here and punch it in. So first and goal officially at the 7-yard line. And now we have a whistle, and looks like a timeout is taken by Park Crossing. So they're going to attempt to adjust their defense here. And we're going to take a quick timeout. You're watching the Montgomery Sports Network. It is Park Crossing 12, Dothan 2. And you're watching the Extermitech Pest Control Game of the Week here on the Montgomery Sports Network. It is Park Crossing 12, Dothan 2, Thursday night football here from Crampton Bowl of Montgomery. And Dothan is down knocking on the door. They have a first down and goal at the 7-yard line. It's been the running on this drive of Webb and the quarterback Dawsey that has put the Tigers in this position.
And it's been less predictable. I mean, they're not running the same play. You can't tell if Dawsey's going to keep or give, and that's been very, very helpful in the two runs.
So Dawsey, they're going to move man in motion. It's going to be an option right side. Dawsey's got to keep it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's in. Touchdown for Dothan. And a big drive and a big statement for the Tigers.
I think that's the only time this drive, Kane, if I'm not mistaken, that we saw Dawsey keep it and hold on to it. And he was good for a first down and good for a touchdown. So just what the doctor ordered for the Dothan Tigers. They are back in this football game with a nice sustained drive.
So back-to-back runs by Dawsey. He puts it in the end zone. 6 points for Dothan as the kicker. Number 35, Brody Barnett, will try to attempt the extra point here out of the hold of Dawsey for the Tigers. And all the momentum right now is on the side of Dothan.
Big extra point here to get it within a field goal.
Good snap and spot. Kick is up. And it's good. So Dothan tacks on the extra point. Our new score of 4:08 left here at Crampton Bowl. It is Park Crossing 12, Dothan 9 on the Extermitech Pest Control game of the week. I'd like to remind you that tomorrow night you can watch us out at Trinity here in Montgomery. We'll have the Alabama Christian at Trinity game here at mymgmsports.com, the Montgomery Sports Network. You can watch us, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at mymgmsports. You can look us up on YouTube, search Montgomery Sports Network. We have the games archived there from the last few weeks and so forth. So a lot of action here, and we have a full schedule throughout the rest of the season. But this is the first of several Thursday, Friday doubleheaders for us here on the Montgomery Sports Network. Also, like to take a moment to mention our sponsors. Of course, Extermitech Pest Control. We thank them. ProtectingAOWorkers.com. The Hank Williams Museum, just down the street here from Crampton Bowl. Chris's Famous Hot Dogs, just off to the right here and down the street from the Capitol Building here in Montgomery. Mid-State Burglar Bars and Ironworks. We'd also like to thank American Oak and More. La Zona Rosa Hillwood Mexican Cafe here in Montgomery. Industrial Specialty Company Incorporated. And we'd like to thank our media partner, the stations of Blue Water Broadcasting. So thank you for sponsoring high school football here on the Montgomery Sports Network. And if you go out to one of these businesses here in the area, tell them that we sent you here from the Montgomery Sports Network. So, Darryl, new ball game here, 4:08 left here to halftime. It is 12-9 Park Crossing.
And something key that you mentioned about 5 minutes ago that can't go unnoticed or not touched upon is that Dothan gets the football to start the second half. So then get another 3-and-out here and get a field goal tied up. Then they get the ball to start the second half. This could be huge. There's that pooch kick again.
And another grab over there for Park Crossing. Once again, number 26 on the grab over there, Joshua Rudolph, doing a good job securing the football for Park Crossing. So the Thunderbirds will start 1st and 10 on their own 40. And for Coach Wheeler, you had the big play with Osborne, but other than that, there's not been much offense.
There's not. And you know, you had a couple of first downs. That one play to Osborne looked like it gained a first down. It was a half a yard short. You had the fumbled snap that made you lose a yard. Then they had to go ahead and punt. And basically, when you look at it right now, Dothan's got all the momentum. They've scored 9 points in a row. Their defense is playing salty. They're getting pressure on Robinson, and that's a key.
So 1st and 10, it looks like Lewis is in the backfield this time for Robinson. Trips to the left. They're going to motion here to the back to the near side. And Lewis is going to get it, and he is dropped for no gain that time. That was number 45 again, Jamel Harris on the tackle for Dothan.
You can just tell, I mean, just how much enthusiasm and energy now this Dothan defense has because of how the momentum shifted. They're really playing with purpose.
Yeah, it could very easily been very easy for them to roll over when it was 12-0. They didn't have a break early in the game, but here they are fighting, and it's a 3-point game, and they seem to have all the momentum here as we tick towards halftime. 3.5 left. This time Robinson's going to roll the pocket, look to throw. Throws it late, and it's going to go off the hands of Osborne again. Or actually, Osborne did catch it. I'm sorry, he slid and called it. My bad.
Yeah,
that was a wristband that bounced there.
It was. It was a great catch by Osborne. That throw by Robinson, again, not where it needs to be. Robinson or Osborne had to leave his feet. If he can catch that in stride, he has a better chance to get a first down.
So play picked up 7. It's going to be 3rd down and 6. They got to get the midfield here. And all the offense so far has been Osborne. Park Crossing rolls right. They look at the same play again this time, but heavy pressure and drop for a loss. A big sack for the Dothan defense. And again, that is number 45, Jamel Harris, making another play for Dothan.
Man, he has been the defensive all-star in the first half for Dothan. Big sacks, big pressure. And they're doing this, Kane, without blitzing. I mean, they're just coming straight up on a straight rush. And here we are with 2:38 remaining. Dothan does have one timeout. I don't know what kind of field position they'll get. If they'll just play conservative, be happy to take a 12-9 deficit in the locker room.
But the return game, the hidden game right there, the hidden yardage has been effective for Dothan with number 6 going back there to return and punt. That is James. Good snap. And this was low one coming their side. It goes away from the return man. Going to take a Park Crossing bounce and won't be returned. It's going to be stopped at the 30-yard line. Clock stop, 2:11 left here to halftime at Crampton Bowl. You're watching the Extermitech Pest Control game of the week. It is Park Crossing 12 and Dothan 9 as the Tigers will come out here. And they have one timeout, as Darryl mentioned. And they are going to get the football to start the second half here. So a big opportunity for them to potentially take the lead or tack on a score with the lead before Park Crossing gets their offense back on the field.
They've got the receiver weapons to do it with Owens and Fulmer and backup quarterback Cameron Doss to go downfield.
So Dawsey calls the signal, shotgun. He's going to look right. He's going to throw deep over the right side. Oh, that pass is intercepted. Intercepted over there by Park Crossing. That's going to be Thomas on the interception, and he is out of bounds near the 30-yard line. A big play for the cornerback, the senior cornerback, Stephen Thomas, for Park Crossing.
Yeah, Dawsey threw that to the wrong shoulder, Kane, and he did a great job, Parks did, of breaking on that, reading the interception, and the absolute worst thing that could happen to Dothan after getting back in this ball game and with some momentum is you do not want Park Crossing to score here going in before halftime.
So they're officially going to mark him out of bounds at the 37-yard line. 2 minutes left, and now the situation has turned in favor of Park Crossing. Coach Wheeler's got to be thinking, hey, we need to punch one in here and get a 2-score cushion again, as Robinson's going to come out.
2 timeouts left for Park Crossing. Plenty of time. They could still run the football if they choose to, Kane.
Dubose and Osborne, they're the inside receivers here in the trips formation for Park Crossing. And Robinson's going to look to throw. He's going deep, looking for Osborne back of the end zone. And actually going to be caught by the other receiver. Osborne was going for it, but it was number 14, Irby, on the reception for the touchdown.
That was a very fluky play, and I don't think that's how they drew it up, that DeMarco Irby and number 3, Tremaine Osborne, were in the same sector, the same zone. I mean, they were in the end zone 2 feet from each other. But Irby stayed with the route. It was a great throw by Robinson, and that pays off. That's a big touchdown for Park Crossing.
Yeah, what a shift of momentum here. It is 18-9 Park Crossing, as Dothan has controlled most of this second quarter and looked like they were going to have an opportunity to take the lead. Now all of a sudden they're down by 2 scores. Let's see if Park Crossing goes for 1 or 2. It looks like they're going to go for 2.
Yeah, that would make it an 8-point conversion and a field goal to tie. 8-point conversion, 2-point conversion, and a field goal to tie, and a touchdown.
They're not going to get this play off. Play clock's at 5. They're going to take a timeout. I don't know if they realize it. Play clock's at 4, 3. Now I see the coach is signaling finally, and there's the timeout. 1:53 left here to halftime. So Park Crossing up by 9, 18-9. Dothan making the 2-hour drive up Highway 231 here to Crampton Bowl. Fell behind 12-0. Fall back to make it 12-9. Here Park Crossing cashes in on the turnover. That's twice now turnovers have cost Dothan. The scoop and scoring right there on the 37-yard touchdown pass to Irby.
Yeah, I mean, if they play turnover-free football, mistake-free football, they're winning this football game right now. But as it is, they've turned it over twice. Points off turnovers for Park Crossing, 14. No points off turnovers for Dothan, and then you've got an 18-9 football game right now. So that it doesn't take much to tell what the story of this football game is.
So 1:53 to halftime. That was a 7-second scoring drive for the Thunderbirds on the touchdown pass from Robinson to Irby. And Osborne was set up to do the kicking on the first attempt, and he missed it. And then the other time they went for 2 and had a penalty, and it didn't work out for Park Crossing. So
I mean, I don't want to second guess Coach Wheeler, but I'd just kick the extra point here.
Yeah,
I
try to get up by 10.
Go by 10. Traditional touchdown and a field goal, and a point after touchdown. You know that's what it would take to tie you. But apparently they're trying to extend that lead and make it to where it has to be a 2-point conversion, field goal, touchdown.
So yeah, they're going to go for 2. And Robinson's in the back in the shotgun. 2 receivers to each side. They're in tight though. It's going to be a reverse. And they're going to look to throw at the last second back to the quarterback. It goes incomplete. Dubose was trying to hit the quarterback there for the 2-point conversion. So it falls incomplete. The score remains 18-9 in favor of Park Crossing. So Dothan's going to get the ball back here with 1 timeout. If you're Coach White, Darryl, and you get the ball, let's say you're inside your own 30, do you try to score here, or do you just try to get the half where it's at?
I think you would just try to get to half where it's at because you received the second half kickoff. I know 1:53 seems like a lot of time, but they've only had 1 drive where they've really done anything offensively and moved the ball. With just 1 timeout and having to go 70 yards or 75 yards, that combined with the fact you get the ball to start the second half, I would just run the ball, be conservative.
So we're at Crampton Bowl here, Extermitech Pest Control Game of the Week. Park Crossing in a Class 6A Region 2 tussle with Dothan. Both these teams trying to get a win to start region play here and get off on the right foot. Park Crossing is the 3-time defending region champions. They won it in 2015, 16, and 17. They've had some success in the playoffs, winning several games the last few years. This year it's been a little more of a struggle on offense. That they averaged 39 points a game last year. This year they're trying to manufacture points more as the kick is away. I think it's going to be Webb on the far side across the 20, 25, 30, and finally dropped around the 33-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 for Dothan. Tigers, on the other hand, trying to get some success going. They lost their first game to 7A Enterprise 44-21. Last week they were able to blow out Rehoboth 47-7. And Coach White back in his first year here at his alma mater down in the Circle City. So 1st and 10 to the 33 here for Dothan. We'll see. Maybe they do that quarterback run again with Dawsey. Webb's in the backfield with him. They're going to go 2 receivers to each side as Park Crossing showing a 4-man front at the moment. Ball finally whistled into play. Dawsey's going to look to throw. Pump fakes. Now rolls right. It's going to be a screen pass. There's nobody there. Park Crossing had it dissected. And Dawsey's going to have to turn and run. He's dropped back at the 31 for a loss of 2 on the play.
I think that seals it right there. I think you run the football now. I don't think you call your timeout. I think you let the clock run. You get conservative and just run the ball and be happy to only be down 9 receiving the second half kickoff.
Yeah, good job of scouting there by Park Crossing. They were all over that play from the start. 1:15 in the clock running. 18-0 Park Crossing leads it. Or excuse me, 18-9 Park Crossing leads it. This time play clock still has 12 seconds left on it. Tigers seem to be in no hurry. And Dawson's going to hand this one off Webb. He works over right guard. And he's going to get out to the 34 for a gain of 3. And now we're going to have a timeout taken by Park Crossing. That's their last timeout. So
gives them an opportunity on the punt, whether it's a turn or a block, with some time left on the clock.
Yeah, there's going to have to be at least 2 plays here for Dothan.
Timeout. Park Crossing.
As Coach Wheeler's going to exhaust his last timeout here and try to get a 3rd down stop, maybe force a punt, maybe get good field position and take a shot at the end zone again for them. But we're at Crampton Bowl here Thursday night, Montgomery Sports Network. Tomorrow night we will be just about 5-6 miles east of here, out off Perry Hill Road here in Montgomery, as the Alabama Christian Eagles will visit the Trinity Wildcats in a Class 4A Region 2 game out in East Montgomery. So we'll be out there in the private school sector tomorrow night. And then next week we're back here at Crampton Bowl next Friday for another game. But you can check our schedule out at mymgmsports.com. We have a full schedule of games there throughout the year, throughout Montgomery and the River Region. And you can always archive the games and watch them and so forth. You can watch them from any of your device, Roku and so forth and so on. So 3rd down and 9 here for Park Crossing, as we have 2 receivers split to each side. And Webb's going to get the handoff. Oh, he has some room. 35-40. Look at this. Across the 45, 46-yard line. 13-yard gain in the 1st down for the Tigers, who still have 1 timeout remaining.
Got the big 1st down, and that probably just seals it as far as Park Crossing being able to do anything before the half.
So Dothan's going to hurry. Clock running 35, 34, and so on. Oh, low snap. It goes off Dawsey's foot. Now he just dives on it. He was not ready for it. It was low, and he was looking to the sideline. And now we have the last timeout taken by Dothan.
You know, something interesting that we talked about Kane before the game. Speaking of Kane, number 8, Laquez Kane, one of the best receivers for Park Crossing, and number 11, to Corey Turner, who's a cornerback being recruited from Troy, have not seen them on the field tonight. 2 major contributors for Park Crossing. So I wonder, don't want to speculate, but I wonder if they were involved in that brawl last week.
Yeah, for those of you who weren't with us in the pregame, we were talking about the incident between Jeff Davis and Park Crossing in the handshake line, whether there were any consequences for anybody. We looked throughout several media outlets and websites here up until almost kickoff, and we could not find anything as far as anything that may have been handled down and so forth, or that may just be in-house too. Who knows at this point?
Could be in-house, could be injuries, but I'm looking down to see even if 8 or 11 are dressed out. I don't know. It looks like 8 is sitting on that bucket down there Kane, over by the field where the other receivers are. It remains to be seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen number 11 so far for Park Crossing.
He's their best corner.
So it's third down. Check that, second down and 16 for Dothan. Park Crossing has two safeties about 20 yards off the line of scrimmage here. Dawsey's going to look to throw. Going to heave it over the middle, and it's almost intercepted. Looked like one of the linebackers there, number 12, or the safety, Jalen Warren, had his hands on it for Park Crossing.
Two things could have been disastrous for Dothan, the fumble recovery, and then, of course, that interception could have happened right over the middle at midfield. As it is now, it's 3rd and 16. Dothan's got a long way to go. But I give them credit. They didn't sit on the ball. Wayne White was aggressive and was trying to score and get points on the board before halftime.
So 18-9, Park Crossing leads it. Let's see if they take a knee. It looks like they're going to maybe a quarterback draw. They empty the backfield here. Dawsey's going to put it up in the air. Now he's going to find some room across the 40, works towards the sideline. He's going to get out of bounds in Park Crossing territory at the 49-yard line. It's a gain of 11, and a smart play by him to get out of bounds. And it'll bring up 4th down and maybe one heave to the end zone. The only problem is there's 12 seconds left.
Yeah, you might get it back with 5 or 6 if you're Park Crossing. You'd have the opportunity for one heave in the end zone. So, but you never know. Pass interference call, anything could happen.
So both teams out of timeouts. And Dawsey has Webb in the backfield with him. 3-man front for Park Crossing. They're going to blitz off the side over there. Here they come. Dawsey has to tuck it. He's going to be dropped short. Park Crossing is going to get the football back. The clock stops with 5 seconds left. They get it back at midfield here. So the opportunity is there for, as you said, Darryl, a heave to the end zone, maybe a pass interference and another play. We'll see here. I do know last year that the quarterback, Cam Taylor, could get the ball to the end zone from this distance. I'm not so sure about Robinson, as Taylor had a lot of bombs last year on throwing the football. But he's going to you have to figure if he's going to be behind the line of scrimmage, he's going to have to get at least 55, maybe 58 yards in the air to get it down into the end zone.
Yeah, and the best you can hope for without a tip in that situation, because I don't think anyone's going to run free in coverage, but without a tip is pass interference.
So Robinson's going under center. He may just be taking a knee here. The head official's right there, and that's what it's going to be. So Park Crossing, Coach Wheeler's going to be satisfied. He's going to take that lead to the half here at Crampton Bowl. So our score at halftime from Montgomery, it is the Park Crossing Thunderbirds 18, the Dothan Tigers 9. You're watching the Exterminatech Pest Control Game of the Week here on the Montgomery Sports Network. And welcome back to the Extermatech Pest Control Game of the Week here on the Montgomery Sports Network. You are watching Park Crossing taking on Dothan. It is the Park Crossing Thunderbirds with an 18-9 lead over the Dothan Tigers. A game that saw Park Crossing jump out quickly 12-0. Dothan rallied to cut to 12-9, and then the turnover and the late touchdown pass gets us our margin here at the half at 18-9 in favor of the Thunderbirds. My name is Kane Young. I'm your play-by-play announcer here with our analyst, Daryl Dapprich. So, interesting first half here. Dothan making the trip up here, a team that's not had a lot of success, but they were in the ball game here and about to get the ball to start the second half.
You know, being down 12-0, obviously three key things happened to get Dothan back in the football game. They had a great defensive stand that pinned Park Crossing deep in its own territory. The snap went over the punter's head. They get 2 points. They got a couple successive defensive stands after that. Dothan scores a big touchdown, cuts it to 12-9. Of course, 3 failed 2-point conversions for Park Crossing, kept Dothan within striking distance. Then we felt like Dothan had all the momentum. It was 12-9. They had the football with 2:32 left to go. Only one timeout, I believe, at the time, and threw an interception on a fade route to the right side to the sideline. Park Crossing took advantage of that, scored on the next play on a long touchdown pass. We'll have to see, Kane, if the air comes out of the balloon for Dothan. They get the football to start the second half. If they get a sustained drive going, put points on the board, then they're right back in this football game again, and they've been able to bounce back and show that resiliency that we talked about pregame.
Yeah, offensively it's been a struggle for the Tigers. Webb leads the way in rushing, and Dawsey's had some good job out of his quarterback position with the run. That's been their most successful offense. They hit Owens early in the game with a 22-yard pass, but since that point their offense through the air has been non-existent for Dothan. For Park Crossing, it's a team that came in here struggling to score as we compared to the last few years, but it's been the Tremaine Osborne show. He had the big 94-yard catch, which was basically a little quick route, and he spun out and raced off about 80 yards for the touchdown. And he's had a couple other big first down catches on third down situations.
Yeah, he did a really good job in traffic there, spinning away. They did have that long ball. I mean, it's been quick hitters. They haven't, again, put anything together play after play after play. They scored with, a 7-second drive off the turnover with a route that looked like they had 2 receivers. It looked like it was miscommunication where they had two receivers in the same area. Irby did a good job of continuing the route, making the catch. But other than that, they had a scoop and score, so only 12 of their points have come out offensively, so they're getting back to that whole struggling, offensively to put things together. I'd like to see them throw the football a little bit more and not just in rollouts to the opposite side. I know Robinson's having a hard time throwing across his body. That little seam route's there, and that sit down in the zone 15 intermediate route is there as well. They need to go to that more often.
Yeah, and remarkably, Park Crossing right now leads by 9 at the half, but they have negative 22 yards rushing on offense.
That's unbelievable. Yeah, that's a lot of that's sacks. I mean, they've done a good job. The linebackers for Dothan have showed really good athleticism and done a good job in pressuring.
And you're watching the Extermatech Pest Control Game of the Week here on the Montgomery Sports Network. We'd like to thank our sponsors once again. Extermatech Pest Control, locally owned and operated. Extermatech Pest Control is a small, passionate, and powerful team voted best in Montgomery. If you have bugs bugging you, call Extermatech. They have been bugging the competition for over 15 years. Call 334-209-4590. ProtectingAOWorkers.com. Workers' compensation attorney Matt Matthews has many years of experience litigating workers' compensation cases in Alabama. If you are hurt on the job, he can help you get the benefits you deserve. Visit ProtectingAOWorkers.com or call 334-721-4878. We'd also like to thank the Hank Williams Museum, this 6,000-square-foot museum located at 118 Commerce Street. You can take a step back in time and learn about the musical history and life of a Montgomery man who is known as the legendary singer Hank Williams. Browse the large gift shop. Groups are welcome. We'd also like to thank Chris's Famous Hot Dogs. Chris is celebrating its 101st year in business here in the capital city. Just located down the street from the Capitol at 138 Dexter Avenue, Chris's Famous Hot Dogs. Taste the tradition. Call orders in advance. 334-265-6850. And if you want to be the hero of your next tailgate, take some sauce from Chris's with you to your next tailgate or football watch party. We'd also like to thank Mid-State Burglar Bars and Ironworks. Mid-State Burglar Bars and Ironworks is a local owned and operated business. They have been in business since 1985 and serve Montgomery and the surrounding counties. They build and install burglar bars, AC guards, storm doors, and more. Make sure to check out their decorative handrails and a work of art. Their philosophy is being honest, dependable, fair-priced, and to treat each customer with respect. Call Midstate 334-313-9015.
We got American Oak & More. They're committed to offering exceptional furniture at affordable prices. American Oak & More's friendly staff will help you locate exactly what you're looking for, from patio, mattresses, dining, bedroom, living room, entertainment consoles, youth, occasional furniture, and more. Voted best in Montgomery. You don't pay with fake money, so don't settle for fake wood. Call 334-277-7793. La Zona Rosa Hillwood Mexican Cafe, located at 2838 Zelda Road, minutes from downtown Montgomery. They are one of the area's finest Mexican restaurants. From their great lunch selection and value to the tablecloth and candle evening atmosphere for dinner, La Zona Rosa has something for all. Dine in or carry out is available. Call 334-274-1153. Industrial Specialty Company Incorporated. Since its inception in 1974, Industrial Specialty Company has built an international reputation as a premier provider of high-quality, precision machine parts. Custom designed, fabricated industrial equipment, fixturing, tooling, aluminum anodizing, and military spec painting also available. Virtually every operation necessary in creating a part is completed under one roof, enabling them to control each project each step of the way. Their one-stop shop organization simplifies client purchasing. Visit the website www.industrialspecialty.com or call 277-2224 to learn more about ISCI. And we'd like to thank our media partners, the stations of Blue Water Broadcasting.
So we are about to start the second half here. Park Crossing ahead 18-9, Class 6A Region 2. Action underway in Week 3 here of the season, as Park Crossing trying to defend their home field here at Crampton Bowl in Montgomery. And Dothan trying to steal a victory tonight, as looks like Webb is back deep for the Tigers. Kick is away, and that's going to be James, the other return man, camps under it, off the hop, works left. Oh, my goodness, it opened up for him. 30, still going towards the sideline, 40, and he cuts it back across midfield. And Dothan has to be happy with that to start the second half.
Well, understatement of the game, got to be happy with Dothan's return game. They've done it all night long on kickoff returns, on punt returns. They've done a great job with downfield blocking and done a really good job, number 6, James, getting things started for the Dothan Tigers.
So we'll see if Dothan can get their offense going here. They had a drive before half, the second drive, or about 4 minutes before halftime. They got the ball back, had the turnover, and then ran out the clock there in the last possession. So this time it is going to be Dawsey calling the signal. He's going to take it himself straight up the middle, and not much happening there. He's going to pick up about 1, and that's it.
Somebody's helmet flew off. Defensive or offensive lineman number 56, Billy Turner. He will come out of the game for Dothan as his helmet came flying off.
So 11. Just underway here, 11:35 and running here in the third quarter from Crampton Bowl. Dothan facing 2nd and 9 and trying to steal one on the road tonight here in Montgomery. Webb is offset to the left, trips to the near side. And Dawsey's going to take it this time. He escapes one tackle, gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's going to be it. It was actually the cornerback that came in on the blitz, Stephen Thomas, for Park Crossing, that made the play.
Thomas did a good job of reading that. You can tell Park Crossing's made an adjustment at halftime to really neutralize Dawsey as he comes out on that quarterback read.
So 3rd and 9 for the Tigers. Ball resting just inside the Park Crossing 48. Again, 3 receivers to the near sides. Owens down here at the bottom of the screen, the tall target for the Tigers. Webb is offset to the left. Dawsey's going to roll the pocket near side. Looks, throws late, has a man, and it's underthrown and goes incomplete. Then is almost intercepted at the last moment there by Park Crossing.
Plays open. I mean, you got a man open there. You just got to make that throw earlier. Number 13, Davis, was open in the flat. Dawsey delivers it late and almost gets picked off, and now Dothan will have to punt.
Yeah, it's a tough situation for Dothan. They had the great return, and now they're having to try to pin back Park Crossing again as Dubose goes back deep for the Thunderbirds. 4th and 9, clock stopped momentarily with 10:33 left in the third quarter. Good snap. Kick is away. Good hang time. It's a beauty. Fair catch call for at the 15 by Dubose, and Park Crossing is going to stop right there. And as we said in the first half, seems like we've been playing almost the entire game on this side of the field, deep in Park Crossing territory, but Dothan doesn't have a whole lot to show for it at this point.
No, they don't. They had the one drive where they did a nice job of read option with Dawsey and the tailback Webb. Got some gashes, got some good yards downfield. But other than that, the safety, it has just been very, very bone dry for Dothan.
Looks like number 10, Wheeler's going to go out there at running back this time for Park Crossing. And he's going to go in motion to bring 4 receivers to the near side. Robinson's going to look to throw. Flushed out of the pocket. Has a lot of room out here. Across the 15, 20, come up the near sideline 30, and runs out of bounds at the 35-yard line. So a gain of 19 on the play and a first down for Park Crossing.
Tremaine Osborne dangerously close to getting a personal foul there. No need to make that block after Trevor Robinson went out of bounds. He did make the block, did not get flagged, but that was very borderline.
So it's 1st and 10 at their own 35 for the Thunderbirds. As Lewis checks backs in, now he's going to move in motion to the right. 4 receivers to the far side. Robinson throws deep down the middle and overshoots his man down near the 30-yard line. He was looking for Osborne. It's incomplete. It'll bring up 2nd down for the Thunderbirds.
Osborne could get no separation that time. Number 9, the defensive back for Dothan, did a really good job. That was Reeves, Stevion Ware, who stayed step for step with Osborne that time for Park Crossing.
So 2nd and 10, clock stop, 10:05 left, 3rd quarter here at Crampton Bowl. And the initial adjustment for Park Crossing here has been the motion to running back on the first couple of plays. This time they're going to put Dubose in motion to the right to create a trip situation. They're going to roll the pocket over there. Robinson throws as Dubose wide open at the 40. He races up the sideline and he lowers his shoulder across midfield. He's going to pick up 19 yards and a first down for Park Crossing.
Great job by Grant Dubose. Run after the catch. Lowered his shoulder, got 5 more. He decided not just to give himself up, Kane, and step out of bounds, and because of that, he gets rewarded with 5 more yards.
That's Dubo's second reception tonight. He has 29 yards so far for the Thunderbirds in the passing game here on the rollout with the 4 receivers that have been working here on this possession for Park Crossing. Clock stopped again with 9:55 as the runner went out of bounds. Lewis in the backfield, offset to the left. And they're going to run a speed sweep here near side, and that is a great defensive play. Osborne's in trouble. He escapes one man. Now he's going backwards. Oh, my goodness. And he lost the helmet. The play's going to be blown dead right there. But that was a tremendous play by the Dothan defense. We mentioned his name several times tonight. Jamel Harris once again in there for Dothan.
Jamel Harris has been a beast tonight, and that was a great job of swarming to the football by the Dothan Tigers. Osborne could not get loose. He backtracked, and he lost a lot of yardage on that play.
So he's going to have to come out of the game for a play as he loses his helmet. But that is a tough play for a defensive lineman, outside linebacker to make on that speed sweep, as you know, Darryl, to come up and force a big loss like that, right 5-6 yards off the line of scrimmage.
You have to be extremely quick to do that.
So 2nd down and 25. They're going to hand this one off the Wheeler right side. He's going to have some room across the 40. Finally stopped at the 45 for a gain of 6 on the play.
Yeah, Taylor did a good job of getting what he could, but you're in a situation right now where it's predictable. I don't think Dothan expects Park Crossing to put the ball up in the air right here. 3rd and 19. Robinson would have to, obviously with Osborne coming back in the game, he's going to be the preferred target.
So 3rd down and long. They have to get down to the Dothan 36. Here comes Osborne in motion to the near side. They're going to roll the pocket again. Robinson in trouble and dropped back behind the line of scrimmage for a sack. That's going to be Torrin McNeely on the play for Dothan.
Great job. Great tackle. Went low on Robinson. Didn't try to hit him high, and because of that, he brings him down immediately. Good defensive stop by Dothan's defense again.
So 4th down, punting situation, and here might be an opportunity to score. They've had several returns of 20 yards plus with James back there for Dothan. The return game has been excellent for the Tigers tonight. Kick is away. James has to go chase it off the hop. And he makes one man miss. Good coverage there, but Park. They're going to say his knee was down on the catch. So he's dropped officially at the 27. So 8 minutes left, third quarter, as we have the possession change. It is Park Crossing 18, Dothan 9 here at Crampton Bowl. You're watching the Montgomery Sports Network. You can check us out at mymgmsports.com. You can watch us there. You can find highlights. You can find our complete schedule. You can like us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter at mymgmsports. You can go to YouTube, search Montgomery Sports Network. We'll pull up there. The archive games from the last few weeks are there, as this one will be online also. You can watch us live. You're on your Roku, your phone. If you're out at another game tomorrow night, you can watch us. We'll be out at Trinity for the Alabama Christian Trinity game tomorrow evening. So 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Webb's going to get the handoff left side. He has some room up the middle. One of his better runs of the night as he gets out to the 34-yard line for a gain of 7.
And Webb's hurt. Can't tell if it's cramps or what it is, but he couldn't get up, and he's laying down, and that would be a huge loss for Dothan's backfield. As Ty Webb has gone off tonight, giving them some sustainability in the running game.
So he's laying on the ground. Coach is slow to get out there. He's laying on his side. May land on the football funny too. But I think it might be cramps. I got his leg up in the air here. Hot, humid day in Montgomery, humid night. No breeze at all. If you were with us last week when we were up in Clanton for the Sylacauga at Chilton County game, we had a 2.5-hour lightning delay where it was hot and humid, then cool, and then hot and humid again. And, it was like a sauna over there in the press box tonight. Usually we expect to have a breeze up here at Crampton Bowl. We're high above the 50-yard line. We're in the same broadcast booth that ESPN uses here for the Camellia Bowl. And there is actually no air blowing at all this evening. And these players out here have to stay hydrated after the long 20-minute halftime break. Players taking a knee at the moment on each sideline. And looks like Webb is going to get up to his feet. He's going to walk it off on his own power, which is good to see. So the last play gained 7 yards for Dothan, and I would expect to see Reeves come back in the game. He actually started a running back tonight for Dothan and on the first few series, and he's out there number 26 for the Tigers.
He wasn't as effective as Webb was. He struggled running the football game because he was running between the tackles. But obviously with Webb going off the field, he's got to come in and contribute now for the Dothan team.
So Reeves is offset to the right, 3 receivers near side. And he's going to get the handoff, and just like you called it a second ago, no gain. He's dropped quickly by the Park Crossing defense.
It's just that running between the tackles right now, not effective at all for Dothan. Most of what they've gotten outside in space.
Look like Hines on the tackle for Park Crossing. And here it is 3rd down and 3. Reeves has 4 carries tonight. He has not gained a yard yet. So it's just been a struggle for him so far. Clock running as we approach 7 minutes left, third quarter. Park Crossing ahead 18-9. This time Reeves works to the left. The H-back is in there this time for the Tigers. Oh, it's a bad snap. It gets through the hands of Dawsey. He's going to have to go back and fall on it, and it's going to be 4th down in a punting situation. And an opportunity here for Park Crossing to flip the field.
Really good field position. Cameron Dawsey did the only thing you could do there, just fall on the football, be safe. Don't try to pick it up and be a hero. But now Park Crossing with Dubose back deep to receive has an opportunity to get something rolling.
So last kick has some good hang time for Dothan. They actually use a defensive lineman to punt the football. Now, there's a bad snap. It was on the hop. He made a good catch. It gets it away. Good hang time again. Dubose camps under it. Late fair catch. He dropped the football. He's able to get on top of it, though, fortunately for him. So Park Crossing will get excellent field position with 6:12 left, and we're going to have the official heat timeout here according to the head official. For those of you unfamiliar here with Alabama high school rules and regulations, in the first few weeks of the season here in August, early September, we have a mandated heat timeout right at the 6-minute mark of the quarter. So with the change of the possessions here, the official's doing a good job taking it right now before the 12 seconds before the 6-minute mark hits. So Darryl, Park Crossing gets the ball. This is by far their best field position tonight. What do you look for here on this possession?
I would definitely try to use a little bit of Trevor Robinson more on the run draw, the quarterback draw. They have gotten really no running game established at all, so they're going to have to go through the air. But you can do it with Robinson on the draw that play where he fakes that quarterback draw and steps up and throws in the pocket has been there. He's just either overshot it or thrown it late. So they need to do something and get him rolled out of the pocket, but get him rolled to his natural throwing motion, not across his body.
Yeah, and it's if you're Coach Wheeler right now, your defense has been pretty stout most of the night. You've been able to keep Dothan, despite the fact they've had good field position for the most part off the scoreboard. You got to figure if you can get one more score here, get up 25, 26-9, it's going to be awfully difficult for the Tigers to put 2 or 3 scores on the board here the way this game's going along.
Yeah, I think if you score another touchdown here, you can pretty much put the game, in my opinion, out of reach because of the way Dothan struggled offensively.
So 1st and 10. Looks like Lewis is in the backfield for Park Crossing with Robinson. Hard count. Lewis gets it, makes one man miss, comes near side across the 40. He's going to have the first down. Finally knocked out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. Is going to be a gain of 12 and a first down for Park Crossing.
Well, that's what they needed. They need to get the running game going a little bit. It's good that Coach Wheeler didn't just give up on it and abandon it altogether. But Park Crossing's got to establish something from an offensive standpoint, and it looks like
another quarterback.
New quarterback
Langford is in there, quarterback now, number 9 for Park Crossing. And now there's some movement up front. That's going to be a false start. Different cadence, different signal there, different voice inflection, and one of the left side of the line there for Park Crossing.
Langford, who's the sophomore, young quarterback, trying to get him in. Now here's number 8, Laquez Kane, that we had said we didn't see in the first half, so he is in the ball game right now at the top of your screen.
So it's 1st and 15, ball resting at the 38-yard line of Dothan. This time Langford, still a quarterback. He's going to throw a little quick out. He's left-handed, gets it out there to Dubose, and a nice open field tackle there for Dothan. Dubose going to pick up about 4 yards on the play, but it could have went for a lot more.
Dubose basically made something out of nothing and did get 4 yards out of that shoestring tackle to make it a more manageable second down.
Tackle that time by Grimsley for Dothan. Nice play in the open field. So second down, and we'll call it 13 officially for the Thunderbirds. 3-man front for the Tigers. Clock running, 5:25 left here, third quarter. Langford's going to look to put it up in the air. Goes over the middle late, and it's going to be intercepted. And Dothan with a big play there, the big turnover for the Tigers. That's going to be Eric James, the man who's been done such a wonderful job returning the football tonight, steps up and makes a play for the Tigers on defense.
He's a playmaker. He's been doing a great job on kick returns and punt returns, and he read that pass by the sophomore Langford. Inexperienced. He read it the whole way. He had his eyes locked in on Osborne, and now Dothan gets a turnover and gets an opportunity to flip the field.
So 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Their defense gives them another shot here. 5:12 left. They trail by 2 scores. 5:12 left, third quarter. Plenty of time here, but they got to get something going on offense. And right now they got to go 77 yards to make it happen. Empty backfield this time. They're going to motion it and give it to Doss on the speed sweep. He's going to cut it up, and he picks up about 2, and that's it.
I've been very impressed with Park Crossing's front line and their linebackers. We talked about them needing to step it up defensively, and they have tonight. They've been very quick to the football, showed a lot of athleticism to the edge, and they have some undersized linebackers, but boy, can they run.
So 2nd and 8 at the 25. Dawsey gets a signal. Reeves still in the backfield. Now he's going to split out, so it's an empty set again for the Dothan Tigers. 4-man front here for Park Crossing. This time they're going to fake the handoff, and there goes Dawsey, left side on the quarterback counter. He has some room, has the first down, and finally driven out of bounds near the 40. They're going to mark him out officially at the 39-yard line. It's a gain of 15 and a first down for the Tigers.
Good play call that time by Coach Wayne White because it isolated Dawsey. It got him out on the edge one-on-one. One blocker, one defender. He was able to get around that person, get that defender, and get the first down.
Clock stopped, 4:22 left, third quarter. As Dothan gets its initial first down here of the second half. Dothan taking their time here between plays. Are going to go empty again. They're going to motion. This time they're going to hand off to number 13. That's Davis, left side. He's going to fight for a couple positive yardage there. He's going to get out across the 40 to the 42 for a gain of 3.
Made something out of nothing all on his own, Davis, that time.
So it'll be 2nd and 7. Have to wonder how much Webb not being in there affects what Dothan wanted to do here in the second half at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, you're really limited because he's such a dynamic presence outside, and he gives you another option besides Dawsey. Because if they just want to key on Reeves, they've had the opportunity to do that.
We got a timeout. I think there's an equipment issue for one of the Park Crossing players. They're going to have to find a replacement, it looks like. Or maybe he has blood on his arm. He's looking at his arm there like something's wrong with it. So, you see the Park Crossing coach is looking for the player. Whoever they wanted to go in there was sitting back here on the bench. He's not standing up with everybody else. Oh, my. So, all right, 2nd down and 7 here at the 42-yard line for Dothan. And play clock at 15. 2 receivers near side with the H-back. Reeves is off to the left of Dawsey. Goes James in motion. They're going to run option back to the left. That play worked in the first time, but this time it's a fumble. It's on the turf here, cramped the ball, and it looks like Dothan has recovered it. One of the linemen hopped on it, but it'll bring up 3rd down and long for the Tigers.
That could have been disastrous. It would have given Park Crossing great field position at the 38-yard line of Dothan, but as it is, the Dothan offensive lineman, number 57, Braxton Willis, does a good job being heads up and falling on it.
So 3rd down and 11 after the loss of 4 as we go under 3 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter. We're going to go 3 receivers to the near side for Dothan. Owens is split out further down here near the numbers. Dawsey looks going to be the screen pass out here. Dangerous throw. And Reeves makes the grab, but there's no gain. Park Crossing has been all over that screen pass all night.
Very slow developing. He kind of looped the throw, lofted the throw, Kane, and that, when you're setting up a screen, gives the defensive lineman and the linebackers time to rush upfield and shut it down.
So the punter, number 56, the defensive lineman, Billy Turner, back on to kick it here for Dothan. Dubo's back deep for Park Crossing. And another wasted opportunity here for the Tigers, trailing by 9, late 3rd quarter. Good snap, kick is away. Dubose calls for the fair catch and makes the grab at the 33-yard line where Park Crossing will start out 1st and 10.
35-yard line, 1st down.
It kind of been a second half of punts, you know, both offenses not being able to get anything going. Your score is still 18-9, and it's punt, punt, punt. I mean, there's just really not been any kind of sustained offense or any kind of big plays right now.
And if you're Coach Wheeler, you're fine with that because you have the 9-point cushion at the moment. Dothan has just not been able to get anything going on offense, and the few big plays on offense tonight have belonged to Park Crossing. As Robinson, the starting quarterback, the senior, is going to head on back out to the field. He's going to have Lewis in the backfield with him. Dothan showing a blitz. Quarterback counter near side. Nice read by Robinson to get outside the tackle. There's a flag. That might be a face mask. It could be a hold. Let's see. The head official is getting his flag out late, too.
Yeah, that Dothan, it's a hold.
It's holding.
He got pulled down.
Dothan came with a stunt that time. It looked like the linebacker shot out behind the end, and Robinson did a good job to read the play. That's probably why the holding took place.
Yeah, and Dothan's defensive line is just wrecking havoc. Number 55, Ezekiel Moore, has had such a game tonight for Dothan. I mean, he has absolutely gone off. The senior defensive lineman has been in the backfield, disrupted, have a lot of sacks.
They're going to move this back to the 23. So 1st and 22 now for Park Crossing. They're going to go trips to the far side. Robinson's going to roll the pocket. Looks, throws late. Oh, and a catch out there by Osborne. He breaks tackles again, and he's loose. And there he goes, Osborne down the sideline. I can't believe it. Deja vu all over it again. Osborne breaking tackles, racing to the end zone, and it's a touchdown for Park Crossing. Going to be 72 yards in the score, and Park Crossing's out in front 24-9.
Looked just like a carbon copy of the play in the first quarter. Again, Tremaine Osborne looked like he's dead to rights after a 5-yard gain. He spins, breaks tackles. So dynamic. Once he gets in the open field, he was gone, and he has single-handedly offensively put Park Crossing way ahead in this football game.
Yeah, that pass was almost picked off. One of the linebackers for Dothan had a read on it. He was just a step slow out there. And Osborne, once he spun out of the tackle when he turned upfield, he was 88 and out the gate. Here's a 2-point play. And Park Crossing, despite the roll of the snap there, is going to get it. That was going to be number 1.
Jaden Taylor.
Jaden Taylor in there for 2 points, and Park Crossing leads it 26-9 with a crucial 3-score lead now with only 1:21 left in the third quarter.
That can't be how they drew it up, to where you snap it off the quarterback's knee. He drops it, and number 1 picks it up and runs it in. But as it is, it was effective. Dothan's got a player down, hurt at the goal line in obvious agony. That looks like number 8, I believe. Jaden Reeves for Dothan.
So stop here for a moment. 1:21 left, third quarter. Park Crossing 26, Dothan 9. But it has been the Tremaine Osborne show tonight on offense. That was his 5th reception tonight. He has 2 touchdowns, one from 94 yards, the other one officially from 77 yards. And both of them were backed up 2nd and 3rd and long. We're talking 2nd and 20, 25 and 3rd and 30, and both times ends up in a touchdown for Park Crossing.
That's an absolute backbreaker if you're Dothan. You feel like you've got them in good position to hold them and to get a good punt return the way that their return game has been all night. And then not only do you not stop them, they go 70-something yards for a touchdown, and now you're looking at a 26-9 deficit just like that.
Officially Osborne with 197 yards receiving on 5 receptions tonight. And the 2 big plays, the 94-yarder and the 77-yarder, he did most of that on his own. They were 5-yard catches that turned into just long touchdowns for the Thunderbirds. So Dothan finds themselves in a deep hole. We talked about this in the pregame. How would they handle being in a close game, facing adversity? And here in the third quarter, much like the game against Enterprise, they're struggling to find the scoreboard.
18-9 at halftime, you're in the football game. And, you've had a couple of possessions. Offensively, you try to make something happen. No can do.
And the kick is away. That's going to be number 6 again. And having some room going over there on the left side is Eric James. He cuts back near side. Man, this return game for Dothan has been excellent all night. He's going to get out the midfield again. So stop me if you heard this before. Dothan has good field position.
Yeah, he's dynamic. And I felt like if he went to the hash marks there, Kane, he might have taken that to the house. He's limping a little bit. He's ran hard all night, had a lot of work. Been a workhorse for the return game and a safety for Dothan High School.
Yeah, Eric James with the big interception has done several things on the return game tonight for the Tigers and puts them in good position here right at midfield. And we'll see if Dothan can capitalize off this as Dawsey stays at quarterback with Reeves in the backfield. We have not seen Webb return since he went off with an injury. It's going to be Reeves left side. Man, he is stopped right away. That Park Crossing defense, that was number 6 that time for Park Crossing. That was Darius Hodges on the tackle.
Yeah, Hodges had Reeves' number. He could tell which direction he was going to cut back into the hole, and he was there to meet him.
So only a gain of yard on the play. 2nd and 9 for the Tigers. Clock ticks under a minute now. We're down to 45 seconds left here in the third quarter at Crampton Bowl. It's like you're going to go 2 receivers to the near side with the H-back here. That is Owens down at the bottom of the numbers on the 50-yard line. Looks like Flomer up top, who has been silent tonight. There's a throw late across the middle, goes incomplete. They bring up 3rd down and 9.
They're running Jamie Davis, the running back, out of the backfield, trying to get him loose in the secondary, and basically Cameron Dawsey struggling to find him. Every throw has been behind him as he snuck out into the backfield.
So 3rd down and 9, 23 seconds left, third quarter. It's been a struggle through the air tonight for Dothan. They've only completed 3 passes. They're going to roll the pocket near side. Oh, Dawson's in trouble, but he escapes. May open up for him here. He has a blocker out there, but good pursuit by Park Crossing, stopping him for a minimal game. It's going to be a lot of running, but it's only going to pick up about a yard. It's going to be 4th down and 8.
Yeah, they did a great job of backside pursuit that time. Park Crossing did.
Okay, and the clock is going to hit 000 here at Crampton Bowl. So our new score after 3, it is the Park Crossing Thunderbirds 26, the Dothan Tigers 9. We're going to take a timeout. You're watching the Montgomery Sports Network. And welcome back to the Extermatech Pest Control Game of the Week, Thursday night football here at Crampton Bowl, Montgomery. Some of you thought the only game of the week was Thursday night game was the NFL game. Not so. We're here at Crampton Bowl where Park Crossing leads 26-9, and Dothan's facing a 4th down situation, Darryl. Looks like they're going to go for it.
Yeah, they're in no man's land right here. I mean, I guess if you punt, you can punt them inside the 20, but you're down 26-9 in the 4th quarter. You got to get some points.
So Dawsey, the quarterback. Maybe just be trying to draw them offside. I wouldn't think they wasted time out here. Play clock continues to run down. And there it says 0, so they took a delay game. They did not jump off sides. The player tried to get closer, so that should create an obvious punting situation now for Dothan.
Yeah, I guess they were. I don't know if you're trying to draw them off sides. You're still 4th and 3. The way the punt game has gone, you'd rather punt from the 48 than your own 47, but as is, Dothan will be now in punt formation. Number 56, Billy Turner, punting for Dothan.
Yeah, he's done a nice job tonight. Has some good hang time. There's nobody covering the outside man out there. I don't know if he sees it. There was a guy running free down this field. They didn't see it. The kick is away. Dubose is under. He fumbles it again. He recovers it, though. My goodness, that's twice tonight he's dropped the football. Could have been a huge break there. So Park Crossing will take over 1st and 10 on their own 23-yard line. But the outside man there for Dothan was uncovered. And as a defensive lineman back there, he probably just didn't recognize it.
Yeah, and Dubose is struggling on those punt returns. I don't know if it's something to do with how close the Dothan punt cover guy is to him or not. But that's 2 in a row that he's dropped.
So we'll see if this running game gets going here for Park Crossing late in the game. I suspect Coach Wheeler wants to try to keep it on the ground now with the 3-score cushion. Langford comes out a quarterback here with Lewis in the backfield. Now they motion Lewis out wide. Looks like Dothan's going man. They're going to blitz 6. And here's a nice catch on the outside. That's a reception there by number 14, Irby. That's going to gain of 6 on 1st down for Park Crossing.
Irby, who made the big touchdown at the end of the first half there, reception, gets a nice gain on 1st down, puts in manageable 2nd and 3. As Langford, they're not afraid to run him back out there.
So Langford, a quarterback, an opportunity for him to get some work here with a 3-score lead. Robinson, number 7, to start on the sideline at the moment. And Dothan's going to rush 5. Lewis is going to have some room. He makes it through the first line into the 2nd level. He's out to the 45. That's going to be a gain of 15 and the 1st down on the best run of the night for the running back, Lewis.
Lewis did a good job. He picked the right hole. He cut it up, went to the hash, and because of that, it's another Park Crossing 1st down.
So 11:06 and the clock runs. As Park Crossing trying to jump out to another fast start in Class 6A Region 2 play. Now we have a whistle, and it looks like it's going to be a timeout taken by Dothan.
Timeout. Dothan.
That Dothan defense has been on the field a lot tonight. They've made several big stops in the game, gave up the 2 big plays. But overall, outside those 2 big plays, they've given their offense a chance here to be in this game all night. And right now, it's just that maybe that breaking point time for them.
Yeah, you really couldn't ask more of Dothan's defense. I mean, they've gotten pressure, they've made stops, they've done a good job rushing the passer. But, I mean, they've just had to been on the field so much. They have to keep getting running back out there because Dothan just can't sustain any drives and put any points on the board.
So it'll be officially it's going to be 1st and 10. The clock for Park Crossing, the clock is stopped with 10:53 left in this contest. In Class 6A Region 2, Park Crossing, the 3-time defending champion of the region. They're mixed in here with Montgomery Schools, Sidney Lanier and Carver. And then you have Northview, Dothan, Eufaula, Russell County in there. And they're trying to get out. And they're the champ until somebody beats them at this point. They've been in command of this region for a while now. So 1st and 10 for the Thunderbirds. And Langford's going to look to throw it. He's under heavy pressure, escapes the tackle in the backfield, and stretches out for a couple yards out to the 49. It's going to be officially a gain of 3.
Dothan did a good job of taking out his primary route runner. He had to kind of adjust, and it just wasn't there, so he decided to just tote it and carry it upfield.
Almost looks like Dothan is trying to bring the house almost every play right now and matching up man-to-man across the board. As we go under 10.5 left here at Crampton Bowl in the Extermatech Pest Control Game of the Week. Lewis is the running back there with Langford. Osborne and Dubose switch positions out in the slot area. It's going to be a handoff. Lewis, nice plant foot there across midfield. Down the sideline, there's a late flag coming in, and that's in the area of offensive holding.
Yeah, absolutely. When that referee or that official throws the flag in that spot towards that marker, it's definitely holding, and that's what it is, holding against Park Crossing. So that nice run by Lewis will get negated.
So Dothan will back it up, but 2nd and long and 3rd and long has not been a problem for the Thunderbirds.
That's where they want to be, where they're in a comfort zone right now.
Oh, and might dial up Mr. Osborne again here. They'll mark it back at the Park Crossing 44, so the 2nd down and 12. And we'll see if they wind the clock. They are, so 10 minutes we go under now as they wind the ball back into play. And then trips to the left. Dubo's out there in the second receiver position. And they're going to give it to Lewis. Same play almost again, coming near side, and he's going to run out of bounds. So they'll see where they spotted at. Looks about the 48-yard line, so he's going to pick up 49. So we'll give him 5 on the play. He'll bring up a manageable 3rd down and 7 for Park Crossing.
And right now it's just a field position game, possession game, and clock running game. When you're up 26-9, you just want to avoid the big turnover that could turn this game, make it a 26-16 game. So control the ball, run the clock, and don't turn the ball over right now is the game plan for Park Crossing.
Again, still shotgun, 2 receivers to each side for the Thunderbirds. Play clock at 5 seconds. They're going to have to hurry here. Dothan showing blitz. They're going to bring 6. Langford throws late, complete. That's Osborne again. He struggles forward. He's going to be marked just short of the 1st down. He picks up 5 on the play. His 6th reception of the night. That puts him over 200 yards receiving now. That'll bring up 4th down and 2. Let's see what Coach Wheeler does. Looks like Robinson's coming back on the field here for the 4th down situation as Langford checks out.
They picked up 3 yards. 4th and 2.
So instead of pinning them, they're going to actually go Notre Dame box again. That's what they're doing. So they're going to go Notre Dame box. We saw a bad snap earlier. Robinson back there. He takes a snap. He's going to go to the right. He's hit and dropped short. A good stand there by the Dothan defense.
Yeah, the Dothan defense has done everything asked of them, playing their hearts out through some heat and fatigue and being on the field so long. They do what they're supposed to do, and they stop Robinson on the quarterback keeper, and they'll take over on downs.
Yeah, that was number 9, Ware, on the tackle for Dothan, stepping up there in the hole and stopping Robinson short of the 1st down. I think Robinson is actually still down on the field. That's not good news for Park Crossing. He took a pretty good shot.
It looked like it was helmet on knee, Kane. It did. It was a pretty good shot right on that area.
They're trying. Yeah, it's Robinson. They're trying to get him off the field here. But you're right. He was holding that right thigh, knee area of his leg there was a big collision there in the hole on the stop. As everybody takes a knee for the moment here with 8:24 left, 3rd quarter. But let's give credit to the Dothan defense. It could have been very easy there just to roll over and play dead, and they stood up and they made another stop.
They've been doing that a lot, except for a couple of big plays. Of course, don't forget one of those touchdowns was not on the Dothan defense. It was the offense gave up that touchdown. So They've really done a pretty good job of keeping Park Crossing in check tonight.
So Robinson works his way to the sideline here. He's going to come over to the bench here right at the 50-yard line. So 1st and 10 for Dothan. We'll see if they can get anything going. Maybe we haven't seen Dawson quarterback tonight. That could always be a possibility. They don't have Webb out there, so they lose that threat at running back here the last few possessions. But it looks like Dawson's going to come out at quarterback. And Dawson, actually, I take that back. Finally, Dawson's out there, too. He's going to go to receiver spot. He's going to go trips. So Dawson stays in there at quarterback for Dothan. Reeves is the running back. Going to roll the pocket to the right. Throws it late, and it's at the feet of his receiver that time. He was looking for Davis. It goes incomplete, so the clock stops with 8:18 left.
Dossie's not getting the ball out quick enough, Kane, and everything is late and low or behind. He's just got to do a better job of setting his feet, getting the ball out quicker to give his receivers a chance.
So 8:18 left, third quarter. It is 2nd down and 10 for the Tigers, as they have trips to the far side. They have not been able to get much going in the running game here lately. This time Reeves, though, is going to get in here. The whole burst, breaks the tackle from the safety. He's loose, 30, going down the sideline, 20, and knocked out of bounds at about the 16-yard line. So they said they couldn't get anything going with the running game, and Reeves finally steps up and picks up 40 yards.
It's actually Webb back in the game.
Check that, my bad.
Yeah, Webb is back in the game, and Reeves couldn't get anything going with the running game. Webb's done a good job, came back in the game. I guess he's over his injury, and long run there for Dothan to get them right back in it.
So that's what they've been missing here the last few possessions, that running threat. Ty Webb, the senior running back for Dothan. 40-yard gain is 1st and 10, officially at the 14-yard line. Clock running, 7:50. Tigers are going to have to pick up the pace here. And Webb's going to get it. He has some room. Down towards the 10, a pickup of 4.
You know, that was a pickup of 4, but it looked like it could have sprung for a lot more. I thought Webb was going to go around the corner and score.
Yeah, he had the side there, and it looked like if he could have made an initial move to go outside, it would have at least got a 1st down. But nevertheless, 2nd down, we'll call it officially 5 at the 10. Clock running, 7:20. The Tigers taking a lot of time here between plays right now, down 3 scores. Dawsey looking at his wristband. Webb's going to go with him offset to the right. 3 receivers to the near side for the Tigers. And we got motion Davis back. Webb's going to get it left side. He's hitting the hole after a short gain. It'll bring up a 3rd down and about 3.
Well, manageable here. Definitely 4-down territory. There is a Park Crossing player down on the field.
Yeah, another injury here for the Thunderbirds. Been a pretty physical game tonight between these teams.
It really has, and it looks like Robinson's got his shoulder pads and his jersey off on the sideline, sitting on the bench. Don't know what the injury is. You know, we don't want to speculate, but he does have his jersey off.
So 6:45 officially here. 4-down territory, if need be, for Dothan at this point. Park Crossing 26, Dothan 9. If you're just joining us, well, the first question we've got to ask, where have you been? You should have been here all night. But second question, or second point here at this moment, is that Park Crossing jumped out 12-0. Dothan battled back, had all the momentum in the second quarter. Then they had the big turnover before halftime that led to the touchdown pass from Robinson to Irby to extend that score to 18-9. And here, third quarter, Park Crossing's been able to tackle 1 score behind the maneuver down the field by Tremaine Osborne, and it's 26-9 here. Our score stands with 6:45 left. Let's see if Dothan gets a play in here and ready to go. They're still kind of standing around here. That ball's getting ready to go, and there they wind in the clock, and it's starting to go already. So it's 3rd down and 3 for the Tigers. Webb is offset to the right of Dawsey. They go motion. They're going to run option, but Dawsey's going to keep it. He cuts it up. He's knocked down at the 6-yard line. He's short of the 1st down, and it's going to bring up 4th down and 1.
Yeah, he tried to cut that back between the hashes and get the 1st down, and again, Park Crossing did a good job of stopping him. But it is 4th and 1, and, of course, understatement, big 4th down here.
So this is the last chance here for Dothan. 6:10 left. They Still don't got to play in. We'll have a heat timeout, I assume, after this play as we approach the 6-minute mark. Not a lot of urgency out there right now for the Tigers. Precious seconds ticking away. Comes motion again. Webb gets it right side. He's hit. He dives forward. He is close. It's going to depend on the spot. And if the near side has anything to say about it, that's going to be a first down. But Park Crossing's defense.
So it must have been about a yard and a half.
Short. Yeah.
They needed about they needed closer to 2 yards.
Yeah.
Is what they needed.
It was just the official line was just inside the 10. The ball is resting just at the 10. Not even a measurement. So Park Crossing's defense knew it right away. They started heading off the field. So we have our last heat timeout, 5:50 left. Thunderbirds 26, Tigers 9. And for Park Crossing, Coach Wheeler, he's got to love this, getting off what's going to be a 1-0 start here in region play.
Yeah, it's been they've made the most of their opportunities. They've had a couple of big plays. They scored off a turnover. They scored off another turnover where they converted into 0.7 seconds later. So, if you're Dothan, you're kicking yourself because you could have made that score within 10 right there, and then you take away the 2 turnovers. It comes down to just basically they hurt themselves, and you got to play mistake-free football when you start getting into region play. They didn't, and because of that, it looks like it's going to cost them tonight.
So we're watching here Thursday Night Football. Tomorrow night we'll be out at Trinity for Alabama Christian at Trinity here on the Montgomery Sports Network. You can watch us at mymgmsports.com. You can search us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. And there's a lot of avenues for you to watch the game. If you're out for tomorrow night, Friday night, you can be watching the game you're at and still pull us up on your phone and so forth. So here, 1st and 10 for the Thunderbirds. Langford's actually going to throw the ball. It's out here to Dubose. He's going to make the catch at the 11-yard line, so it's a pickup of 6 on 1st down.
I'm surprised up 26-9 with 5 minutes to go. I know they're close to their own end zone, but that they're throwing the ball. If it's incomplete, it's going to stop the clock. Where you're running it safe, you can't turn it over, and you're also running clock. But Coach Wheeler right now has a strategy. I guess he wants to see Langford maybe in certain kind of sets throwing the ball.
Yeah, the sophomore here, we don't know how the extent of Robinson's injury at the moment here, so they need to get him as much work here and experience as possible as the clock ticks down to 5:10 left here in the game. Langford, low snap. He's going to hand it off this time, and it's going to be a short run that time for Park Crossing. Looks like it was number 10, Taylor, on the carry.
Taylor,
3rd and 5 now, Kane. So clock keeps running, up 26-9.
Yeah, each team has 3 timeouts left, 4:45 and counting. Still 20 on the play clock.
3rd and 4.
As we here at Crampton Bowl, Park Crossing, the 3-time defending region champions. And they like to make it a 4-peat if they possible. There goes Osborne in motion to the left. They're going to roll the pocket to the left. Langford, the left-handed quarterback, throws late, and it goes incomplete. Clock will stop with 4:21 remaining. He's looking for Dubose, I believe, that time. And it's 4th down, and Park Crossing is going to have to punt.
And, of course, Mr. Do-It-All, Tremaine Osborne's their punter as well. Dothan will get good field position. But they haven't been able to translate that into points so far, Kane, on the night. I mean, they've gotten great field position for majority of the evening.
Well, this might be their best opportunity to score with the return man, Eric James, back there standing on his own 40-yard line. He's had an excellent night returning the football for the Tigers. Good snap this time. They're going after it. It goes off the side of the foot and out of bounds, and they're going to mark that. Let's see where the official stops. Officially at the 28-yard line, so it's only a 16-yard punt. And Dothan, here we are again, 26-9. Thunderbirds lead it, and Dothan, they got to try to find a way to get a quick score here within a play or two.
Great field position again. They kicked the ball out of Eric James' hands that time by kicking it out of bounds 16 yards. He was probably more dangerous touching it and returning it.
I would agree with that because the net is 16, but he was standing on the 40, so almost certain he would have got more than 12 yards. Here's Dawsey rolling to the right. He's going to look to throw it back. He has a man wide open down towards the sideline. He missed the man straight down the middle on the post. He tried to go back on the wheel route to the running back, it looked like.
Yeah, the post was right there, and Jaden Fulmer had such a big game against Rehoboth, has been relatively quiet tonight. He was wide open up the seam, up the hash on the post. That's 6 if Dawsey sees him.
So he looked for the wheel route. It goes incomplete. Clock stop, 4:08 left. And Fulmer has been quiet all night. He does not have a reception. In fact, there's only been 3 completions tonight for Dothan. All those were in the first half. Here's Dawsey back to look again. Throws over the middle, has a man open. Is caught down inside the 10-yard line. And driving towards the goal line is number 13, Davis. Going to pick up about 25 yards and a first down and first and goal situation here for Dothan.
You know, they've run Davis Kane out of the backfield all night into the flat, into the zone. And unfortunately, Dawsey has missed him time and time again. That time he made a great throw right on the button, and it paid off.
So 3:50 left, clock running.
24 yards, first and goal, Dothan.
First and goal at the 4. Tigers got to pick up the pace here. Webb is in the backfield. They're going to motion Davis. And Dawsey's going to look to throw it late, and he has his man out there, out the flat. That was the H-back on the reception, Matthew Peterson, for the touchdown.
I guess my question would be, where has that been all night? The formations they ran, the sets they ran, and the play calling was so much better on that drive and so dynamic. It wasn't about execution. That time it was, but they ran different sets, and they were really effective getting the Dothan skill people out in space.
Yeah, that was a good-looking play call. They've run that option several times with the motion. That's the first time they come back with a pass off of it. And now it looks like Dothan's going to go for 2, trailing at the moment by 11. Webb is offset to the right. He has Dawson in the slot. They're going to roll the pocket. Looks, throws late, and the pass is knocked down by the defensive lineman for Park Crossing. That was number 8 on the play, Marcus Harris, knocking the pass down for the Thunderbirds.
That's a head scratcher for me. I don't know why you don't want to just get it to 10 where a touchdown and field goal. I mean, you can take the lead with an 8-point, a touchdown, 2-point conversion, and a field goal, but that just, I don't know, you get within 10, and now you're down 11 and have to have the 2-point conversion to even think about tying.
Yes, 3.5 left. Dothan has 2 timeouts left, excuse me. So
you think they're in onside kick territory?
Yeah, I would think so. They still potentially have time to stop the clock and get it back one more time on a 3-and-out. You're going to have to work an onside kick in there somewhere, even if you score again. So looks like both teams huddling here, taking their time at the moment.
Dothan's really got to be kicking themselves about the turnover right now. I mean, you're down 11 and you've given up basically a scoop and score, which would be 4 points. You'd be down 4. And then obviously the turnover right before the halftime that was huge. So
that's the one that was killer. It was 12-9. At worst, you're thinking, hey, worst case we don't get anything and go ahead and down.
It could be 19-15 right now, worst case scenario, and that would be definitely doable with 3:32 and 2 timeouts left. You wouldn't have to do the onside kick.
So now we have a timeout taken by Park Crossing as they're trying to get their hands team set up. There's almost as many coaches on the field at the moment for Park Crossing as there is players on the near sideline. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, actually 12 coaches down there and 11 players for Park Crossing wandering right there in the area of the 45-yard line. So 3:32 left. Tomorrow night, you can watch us on the Montgomery Sports Network. We'll be out off Perry Hill Road as Alabama Christian will head into for a Class 4A game, a region game against Trinity. Alabama Christian comes in there with a very good quarterback, their senior quarterback, Solar. Trinity comes in 0-2 in that game, but everything starts over as region play begins there out off of Perry Hill Road between the Wildcats and the Eagles. So watch us tomorrow night. We'll be on there about 6:30 live from Trinity Presbyterian School. So 3:32 left. Looks like Dothan's going to try an onside kick. They have 6 players to the far sideline. Park Crossing has everybody up close. They have 1 return man back, so they have 10 guys within 10 yards of the 50-yard line at the moment.
I'm not surprised that Dubose and Osborne obviously on this hands team up front for Park Crossing.
So the ball's been whistled into play. Here we go. And they're going to pooch it deep. And that's a fair catch, a smart play there by Park Crossing. That was number 5. Lewis, the running back, making the good play not to even attempt to return.
Well, if they're going to have a chance, let's just spell it out for our viewers. Basically, Dothan's going to have to go to hold Park Crossing here to a 3-and-out. They're going to have to use both of their timeouts and try to get the ball back with, 2 minutes, 40 seconds, 2 minutes, 30 seconds, something like that. They're going to have to score quickly and then try the onside kick. So the key now, option number one, mission number one, 3-and-out, use your timeout so you can get the ball back with over 2 minutes to go.
So Langford's still in a quarterback. Looks like Taylor's going in at running back here. And they got 12 men on the field. That's a penalty against Park Crossing. They came out on the field with 12 guys. Looks like Kane was the 12th man. He's getting an earful right now as he comes to the sideline.
When you do that coming out of a timeout or a changeover or a ball possession changeover, that's just so unacceptable. I mean, you have to know who's supposed to go on the field. You've got all the kind of time to get that organized and figured out.
So 1st and 15 for the Thunderbirds. And Taylor's going to get the handoff. It's straight up the middle. He's across the 20 to the 22 as a gain of 2. I don't see a timeout yet for Dothan. Guess they're going to try to save it for 2nd and 3rd down. 3:15 and running. Play clock finally whistled in as we have 20 on the play clock, 3:10 on the game clock. So they have to snap this by the 2:50 mark. Park Crossing does.
Park Crossing doing the smart thing, letting the clock run almost all the way down. But you've got to start calling timeouts here soon if you're Dothan.
Lewis is in the backfield with Langford. And Lewis is going to get it come near side. And nice leg drive there. He's across the 25 to the 27. He picks up 5. I still see no signal for a timeout.
Yeah, he called
it. He called it. Okay, I'm sorry. Now,
he called the
somebody
timeout.
lost the helmet.
Right.
They stopped the clock momentarily. So no timeout. Dothan still has 2. 2.5 left. Clock's still running. 3rd and 8.
I mean, they can run this all the way down to, 2:10.
They're going to run it down and take a timeout maybe. Play clock's at 7. They're going to have to hurry up. Down to 3, 2. They're going to get it off. They did not.
So it stops the clock, and they get 5 yards penalized against them.
So 2:12 left on the delay game penalty on Park Crossing. So 2 critical errors here. Without the delay game and the 12 men on the field, they would have had their 1st down. This game would have been over.
And I'm going to tell you, they can score quickly. Dothan can on the punt return with James without even having to have an offensive play.
So here we go. Lewis offset to the left. They're going to hand it off to him near side. He breaks 1 tackle at the 20. Has a sideline 30. Cuts it back. He's loose 40. He may go midfield. It's a foot race. 30. Still going. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown Park Crossing. Good night. Game over. Drive home safely, folks. The Park Crossing's going to win this one tonight here at Crampton Bowl.
If you are Dothan, you have to be kicking yourself how well you've played defensively, but you let 3 big plays define you and define your defense. And I'm going to tell you something else. Number 2 for Dothan, I felt like had an angle. Wimberly, the defensive back for Dothan, at the 10-yard line, and he stopped running, Kane. He just gave up on the play and let Taylor walk in the end zone.
So basically that run, we're talking an 80-yard run. Again, a 3rd down and 12, 13 situation for Park Crossing. 3rd down has been the magic down tonight for the Thunderbirds.
And they're going to run it, and they run it, and they still gash you.
Here we go. Extra point, Osborne's in. Dubose is the holder. High snap. They're going to run a trick. Osborne has it. He cuts it back. He gets in. Amazing. Osborne's in for 2 points, and Park Crossing's up 34-15 here with 1:55 remaining.
That's all Osborne on that play. I mean, just did a great job reversing field, made a couple guys miss. Offensively, I don't think it's a no-brainer. We can let the cat out of the bag who we think our offensive player of the game will be, but he has had a wonderful, wonderful night.
Yeah, Tremaine Osborne tonight, 6 catches, over 200 yards. He scored the extra point there. And, Park Crossing, the defending champion in the region, starts out 1-0 here as they're up 34. Well, now they took the 2 points off the board. I guess they're saying he didn't get in. it looked clear as day that he was across the goal line from here. But, you know, we're a good 75 yards up here in the air away from the goal line area. We do not have instant replay here. There was an article this week in the Wetumpka Herald about Wetumpka using replay at their school. Where they actually had 2 reversals in their first game against Fairhope. Some schools do have replay.
Every school had the opportunity.
Yes.
They even got a grant to pay for that, a stipend, and some schools have chose to, some schools have not. Steve Savarese was very clear about that in the offseason when we talked to him.
So 1:55 left. Park Crossing to kick it off here. As looks like Dawson's back deep with James. It's a short kick taken up by the up man of the 30. And Dothan's going to start 1st and 10 on their own 38-yard line.
They have both timeouts, so really at this point,
The ball game is over. Please do not attempt to go on.
you know, at this point, those timeouts are almost wasted. I mean, you've got 2 of them, but you allow Park Crossing to score on a long run. Maybe if you take a timeout there, your defense is fresh. They wrap up a little better tackling. Who knows?
So Dothan, they got the long 2-hour ride back home this South Alabama tonight. As Park Crossing is going to get out of here with the victory. They're ahead 32-15 officially now instead of 34-15. And looks like Dawson's still out there, quarterback. Webb is in the backfield with him. Dawson's going to throw. He's hit and dropped. Ooh, that was a big hit down near the knee area.
It's good to see him bounce back up. Those are the kind that really can shred the knee.
Yeah, that was number 94 for Park Crossing. I'm going to go deep in my roster to get his name. Oronde Henderson on the tackle there on the sack. He's only a freshman for Park Crossing. 2nd down and 18. At this point, you may just want to get out here and not get anybody injured. That was a big hit. A dangerous hit. 2nd down, they're going to hand this off the Webb right side. He has some room across the 30. And it goes out of bounds around the 40. Picks up 9 on the play.
Webb's been the lone bright spot for the Dothan running game. I don't know what his official stats are with that 10-yard game, but he's done a good job carrying the football in the second half.
Yeah, he had the 40-yard run there to set up the other score. Their lone touchdown here in the second half. The senior running back, Ty Webb, for the Dothan Tigers. So it's 3rd down and 8 officially at the 41-yard line. Going to roll the pocket near side. Dawsey tosses it out here. That's going to be complete. Fulmer with the catch. His first reception tonight. He's across midfield, and there's a late flag that comes in after a gain of 13 and a 1st down.
Probably a face mask penalty against Park Crossing.
Indication is dead ball, personal foul against Park Crossing.
Yeah, they're going to mark it off there. 15 more yards, tack it on. And Dothan's going to have 1st and 10 inside the 35-yard line. Just a reminder, don't forget tomorrow night, join us for the Alabama Christian at Trinity game here on the Montgomery Sports Network, mymgmsports.com. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at mymgmsports. You can also find us on YouTube, search on the Montgomery Sports Network. This game will be on there, archived, along with the last few weeks, and we'll be live tomorrow night from Trinity. 1st and 10, Dawsey looks, throws late. And that's a nice catch down there. I think that's Fulmer again down near the 10-yard line.
Fulmer did a great job adjusting to the football, came back to the football, really used his hands well there. And now Dothan has an opportunity with 30-something seconds to get a show score, a score that makes the game look a little bit better, look a little bit closer, pad the stats. But until it's triple-digit zeros on the clock, you're still trying to score.
Dawsey looks, throws. He's looking on the far right corner there, and a jump ball situation that goes incomplete. Dothan wants pass interference. There's no flag, as it looks like he was looking for number 10 out there, Owens, on the catch.
Owens, the big play receiver that high points the ball very well. Great go-to target on the fade routes. But that time just got a hand in it was the Park Crossing defender, number 2, Stephen Thomas.
So 2nd down and goal.
Go right back to it.
Yeah, they're going to lob up again. There's a lot of contact out there this time. And no flag again, and the Dothan coaches one of them just flipped up his play sheet, whatever. That thing went flying in the air about 20 feet. They're trying to get the call over there.
Yeah, Thomas had his hands locked inside of the jersey of Owens that time. I don't know if there was hand fighting going on by both parties. Third and 10.
3rd and 10.
I'd go right back to it again.
They might.
If it's close, referee, I can guarantee you, is throwing the flag this time.
Yeah, Steve Spurrier did that one time against Alabama, threw 4 straight passes in the corner over there. They're going to hand it off the Webb. He's down to the 7 or 8 yard line, a short gain, clock running. And Dothan's going to take a timeout. The clock stops with 9 seconds left, so they're going to take one more shot here with 4th down situation.
9 seconds left. Dothan still wants to score, put another 6 on the board, so that's why they take the timeout on 4th and 10. Would not be surprised to see them go with the jump ball to Owens. It's been there most of the night. He's done a good job of high pointing the ball. I think he was held on that last attempt, but, you know, this game very, very simply just came down to opportunities, missed opportunities for Dothan, and then turnovers that Park Crossing did capitalize on.
Yeah, there was plenty of opportunity for tonight for the Tigers to steal one up here in Montgomery. But Park Crossing, the big play was then with them, especially in the 2nd and 3rd and long situations. The long touchdowns and then the scoop and score has been the difference tonight. So the Tigers will come out here on 4th down. It's going to be 4th and goal from the 8 yard line. And looks like Dawsey will stay in there at quarterback. He's going to have Webb in the backfield with him. Owens split out far to the right over there with Davis.
4th and goal.
Fulmer at the bottom of the screen here on the left. Along with Doss. Low snap. Dawsey throws a slant in. He's looking for Doss. It goes incomplete. And the clock stops with 4 seconds left, and Park Crossing will just have to take a knee, and this one will be all over.
Yeah, this one will be history. One knee. This ball game, as we talked about, turnovers. Definitely Osborne was a difference maker for Park Crossing. I mean, Dothan didn't have anyone that dynamic on offense. Webb ran the ball pretty well. Dawsey showed flashes. You know, I like the receivers they have. I just don't think they were utilized enough tonight.
Yeah, they have had their opportunities and so forth. Just could not get Fulmer going. Owens had the big catch early, 22 yards on the first drive, and it was silent the rest of the game. And 1st down here, Park Crossing will take a knee. Good job by the head official there to get right on the center, make sure nothing happens. Dothan players just standing. There they go. Clock hits 0-0 here at Crampton Ball. Our final score tonight, Park Crossing 32, Dothan 15 on the Extermatech Pest Control Game of the Week. We're going to take a quick timeout, and we'll be back with our players of the game in just a moment.
7 p.m.
And welcome back to the Extermatech Pest Control Game of the Week here. Thursday night football edition from Montgomery, where Park Crossing opens region play with a victory, a 32-15 win over the Dothan Tigers. And it's time for our All-Stars as picked by the Montgomery Sports Network crew. That'd be myself and Daryl Dapprich. Daryl, the Montgomery Sports Network Offensive All-Star of the game, sponsored by attorney Matt Matthews, is going to be wide receiver Tremaine Osborne for Park Crossing with his 6 catches for over 200 yards and his 2 long touchdown receptions.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't not only his stats, but how he accumulated those stats. He passed the eyeball test tonight. He did everything on his own to get into the open field, nice spin moves, broke tackles, showed a lot of dangerous. And then once he got in the open field, it was over.
And the Montgomery Sports Network Defensive All-Star of the game, as sponsored by attorney Matt Matthews, is going to be the linebacker defensive end for Dothan. That'll be Jamel Harris, who had 3 sacks tonight.
Jamel Harris, only a sophomore, 3 sacks, but he disrupted a lot of running plays. He blew up, was in the backfield all night, played really, really well for Dothan's defensive line that did give them a chance early on.
And we'll give a special shout-out here on special teams to Eric James, the return man for Dothan, he had a monster game tonight, set up the Tigers repeatedly in good field position.
Yeah, that's the point I was going to make, is that he gave them every opportunity on his back, special teams, to put them in great field position time after time after time, and for that he deserves special recognition as special teams player.
All right, and we'd like to thank all our sponsors tonight here on the Montgomery Sports Network. We'll first thank our title sponsor, Extermitech Pest Control, locally owned and operated. Extermitech Pest Control is a small, passionate, and powerful team voted best in Montgomery. If you have bugs bugging you, call Extermitech. They have been bugging the competition for over 15 years. Call 334-209-4590. Also, we'd like to thank ProtectingALWorkers.com. Workers' compensation attorney Matt Matthews has many years of experience litigating workers' compensation cases here in Alabama. If you are hurt on the job, he can help you get the benefits you deserve. Visit protectingalworkers.com, or call 334-721-4878. We also like to thank the Hank Williams Museum. This 6,000-square-foot museum is located at 118 Commerce Street here in downtown Montgomery. Take a step back in time and learn about the musical history and life of a Montgomery man known as the legendary singer Hank Williams. Browse the large gift shop. Groups are always welcome at the Hank Williams Museum. We also like to thank Chris's Famous Hot Dogs. Chris is celebrating 101 years in business here in the capital city, located just down the street from the Capitol at 138 Dexter Avenue. Chris's Famous Hot Dogs taste the tradition. Call orders in advance, 334-265-6850. We also like to thank Mid-State Burglar Bars and Ironworks. Mid-State Burglar Bars and Ironworks is a local owned and operated business. They have been in business since 1985 and serve Montgomery and the surrounding counties. They build and install burglar bars, AC guards, storm doors, and more. Make sure to check out the decorative handrails, a work of art. Their philosophy is being honest, dependable, fair-priced, and to treat each other with respect. Call Mid-State 334-313-9015.
We got American Oak & More. They're committed to offering exceptional furniture at affordable prices. American Oak & More's friendly staff will help you locate exactly what you're looking for, from patio, mattresses, dining, bedroom, living room, entertainment consoles, youth, occasional furniture, and more. They were voted best in Montgomery. You don't pay with fake money, so don't settle for fake wood. Call 334-277-7793. La Zona Rosa Hillwood Mexican Cafe, located at 2838 Zelda Road, minutes from downtown Montgomery. They are one of the area's finest Mexican restaurants. From their great lunch selection and value to the tablecloth and candle evening atmosphere for dinner, La Zona Rosa has something for all. Dine in or carry out available. Call 334-274-1153. Industrial Specialty Company Incorporated. Since its inception in 1974, Industrial Specialty Company has built an international reputation as a premier provider of high-quality precision machine parts and assemblies, custom-designed and fabricated industrial equipment, fixturing, tooling, aluminum anodizing, and military spec painting. Virtually every operation necessary in creating a part is completed under one roof, enabling them to control each project each step of the way. Their one-stop shop organization greatly simplifies client purchasing efforts and significantly reduces cost and lead times of products. Visit their website, industrialspecialty.com, or call 334-277-2224 to learn more about ISCI. And our media partner, the stations of Blue Water Broadcasting, News Talk 93.1, Kiss FM 97.9 Jams, Bama Country 98.9, Yo 100.5, Classic Country, The Possum 104.9, The Gump, and 107.1, The Vault. They are local folks helping local businesses. Call them today and let them help your business at 334-244-0961. We want to thank our sponsors. We could not do these broadcasts without them, so please, please support them. And when you do, tell them the Montgomery Sports Network sent you.
And once again, to wrap it up here from Crampton Bowl in Montgomery, the final score tonight on the Extermitech Pest Control Game of the Week Thursday night edition, it is Park Crossing 32, Dothan 15. So the Thunderbirds start out 1-0 in region play. Dothan falls to 0-1 in region play. Park Crossing 2-1 overall in the season. Dothan 1-2. Tomorrow night we'll be live from Trinity as Alabama Christian will take on Trinity in a Class 4A game here on the Montgomery Sports Network. So make sure you join us tomorrow night. Once again, we'd like to thank all our sponsors and our team. Our executive producer is Stephanie House. Our technical director is Tommy House. Stephen Mock is our replay operator. On camera, we have Mac the camera guy. And in the booth, Darryl Dappert's on color commentary. And my name is Kane Young. Thank you for joining us this evening from Crampton Bowl, where the final score once again is Park Crossing 32, Dothan 15. We will leave you with some highlights from the night's game. Good night, everyone.